Good morning, Raptor Freaks. Alexiot's here, Monday morning, and today I'm doing not a Monday memory. We're off the off-season schedule. We're getting into the regular season, so I felt like today I'm going to do an Eastern Conference preview of how I see my predictions for the standings are going to be for this season, how it's all going to end up by the end of the year. A lot of people are making their predictions for where they see different people are going to be as far as with the playoffs, the play-in, and not in the play-in. And ESPN, all the big networks and all the other people down the media everywhere is doing it right now. So why not I do it? Maybe it'll be a little bit more interesting the way I do it, considering what I'm going to say. The number one team is going to be. Nobody else is going to put us at number one. I'm going to give our reasoning why we should be the number one team in the East this year. There really is good reasoning, and it was kind of echoed by Nick Nurse in his interview yesterday. At practice. They had a light workout at practice yesterday. It's really more shooting around and just kind of talking about stuff. Today, they're going to have a more intense practice today at OVO Center and stuff like that, gearing up, ramping up for Wednesday. Cleveland Cavaliers here at Scottie Bank Arena, opening game of the regular season for 2022-2023 NBA season. It's going to be so awesome, so fun. Lots of fun stuff happening yesterday. We're going to talk about all of it. Tom Duke is here. Good morning, Tom Duke. Welcome to our new 905 player, Saban Lee. Saban Lee signed by the 905 yesterday. He's a point guard out of St. Louis, Missouri, 6'2". Last season, he was playing for the Motor City Cruise, and he was drafted by the Pistons. He was picked by the Jazz, but he played for the Pistons his 1 year in the league so far. So he's a young player. I don't know a whole lot about him, but he was traded for Kelly Olynyk, with Kelly Olynyk for Bojan Bogdanovic recently, in that Kelly Olynyk trade and stuff like that. So Saban Lee, congratulations. Welcome to the family. Let's see how you do on the 905 this year for us. Logical Raptors fanatic, salute to you. I watched your part one of your two-way series, and it was very interesting. Very cool to hear all the stuff about Malcolm Miller and Jordan Lloyd and stuff like that. He really does a deep dive, once again, like his style of research, talking about the different two-way contracts we've had over the years and their fates and different things and stuff like that. Of course, Chris Boucher is one of them, and I really enjoyed the part on Chris Boucher and stuff like that. So I'm looking forward to the second part. Check out Logical Raptors Fanatics, new piece this weekend, and his channel in general. Good stuff, Logical. Really liked it, Mike. I watched it last night. Cool Cat saying, good morning, Raptor Freak crew. Good morning, Cool Cat. Getting ready and hyped for that opening game. Cool Cat will be at the game. You go get loud, Cool Cat. And you bring that right energy so we get that W. That's what we want. Chriscom is here. Good to see the great Chriscom is back. Let's go, brother Raptor Freaks. Yes. Good to see you, Chriscom. I hope you'll be here a lot this season once again, just like last year. Salute. Saban is nice. G likes the Saban Lee pickup. I don't know anything about him. I haven't seen him play before, so I can't say anything about him right now. I'm sure I'll see him soon enough. Nako's saying, I've seen someone saying our ceiling was 4th seed, first round exit, which is crazy disrespectful. Yeah, all right. Since Nako's brought it up, I want to talk about this right now. Yesterday, Nick Nurse had another long interview at practice, and he's really talking about our offensive woes and our offensive things. He said, I wish this team could just come down the court and do one pass so easy, and then all of a sudden 3 goes up. Just like we see other teams seem to easily go and get a 3-point shot or create a 3-point shot for them pretty early in the shot clock, and then the ease of it. Well, he said with the chemistry and the makeup of our team, we can't do it that way, that we don't necessarily have those kind of players, and that we do need to work to get our shots open and work off of each other. There is some clunkiness to our offense, and there is some things that need to be worked out. But that's the whole thing that everybody's missing about this whole thing. And it's something that I've been saying and echoing over and over again for, I think, pretty much about 8 months now, is that their defense is good. Their energy is good. Their rebounding is good. We do a lot of things really good. And those things are so good that we can win games just on them. Even if we shit the bed shooting threes and not making field goal percentages very high, we can win games. in the ugliest ways. Well, this is what I'm saying. We built this platform last season with that continuity, the familiarity, the stuff, the reps with these guys. Now we can build the offensive stuff on it. And that Pascal said it yesterday. This isn't like last year coming in training camp. Well, he was hurt. And he really does have gratitude and appreciation for being available and being able to play right now and get going game one of the 82 game season, that he is here and available. Well, that's different in itself, that we have everybody mostly healthy and we can have a good run and start right from the beginning of the year. We've said this, and I don't know why people don't listen. We had a 50-50 500 record until January last season. And then in the second half of the season, we kicked some major ass and we ended up getting up to the 5th seed in the East. Well, if we don't have these hiccups at the beginning of the season, we go smooth and we kind of go at the pace we were going at the second half of the season last year, we should be the number one team in the Eastern Conference. That's just the projections. That's just the stats. That's just the numbers. It's like, don't change anything. The team's the same. They have more time together. In fact, they had a badass party last night. They were partying last night all together. I guess it's a before the season kind of get together on a Sunday night. And we see Precious DJing and OG's watching and kind of grooving to them and stuff like that. Koloko's taking the videos and stuff like that. I love seeing that. That looked like that was so much fun and some good team building. And Precious, you're cool, man. Yeah, I want you to DJ my party. Precious, yeah, you look like you could probably move some stuff and get some beats lined up and stuff like that. Yeah, Precious had it grooving at that party last night. I don't know what it was. It was some sort of, I bet it was a team function of some sort, just to get everybody together and have a little bit of fun. No, not moving and traveling or anything on any day or something like that. Really cool. DJ Precious. Yeah, it was cool. So they're going to work on the offense. The offense is going to be better this year. It can only get better, seriously. And we have better shooters on our bench that we were crying and whining about last year. This is a change. This is better. We have a rim protector. This is better. We've went and addressed our concerns for our roster this summer. We should be improved. Scottie's going to be improved. Precious is going to be improved. Pascal, Gary, Freddie, these guys have all done things to their games to improve. So why wouldn't we improve is what I'm saying. And we're not that far off from being the top team in the East. Now, part of it also is that the top dogs in the East aren't as tough as they were a couple of years ago. That things have changed. Boston has been knocked off their pedestal to a degree because of the Udoka scandal. So it's wide open. So anybody who says, oh, the Raptors can't be higher than 4th, fuck you. You don't know what you're talking about. We can be number 1. And we very much can do it. And I believe it. That is my prediction. The number 1 seed in the Eastern Conference is going to be the Toronto Raptors. By the end of the season, we will have the best record in the Eastern Conference by the end of this year. I really, really, really strongly believe this. I have all kinds of reasons to believe this. They're not going to believe it down south. They're not going to do that. But we as fans, we should believe because they can do it. And I don't want to be part of the side that says, no, they can't do it. They're best at 4th. They can't get to 1st. What are you? You're crazy. You're just a homer. You're just a homer. You're always just thinking the Raptors. Well, I have real proof and evidence that could tell you that this is, if you extrapolate from the win percentage in the second half and you put it over the whole course of the 82 season, and Pascal is healthy to Wednesday, first game of the season, yeah, I could see us being number 1. Because listen, we have more to jump in and help us if we stumble or falter. That if we do have some issues with our team, we have much better things that jump in and do next man up than other teams. Other teams can have key players missing and it will hurt. Boston hurts by not having Robert Williams III available for the first couple months of the season. That's what I'm saying. He is very crucial to their team to be their optimal best. And in some ways, we've proven, like we sat Pascal and Gary against them in the last preseason game, and we had other people show up and do things really well. That's just the way we are. It's going to be different nights, different people stepping up, doing different things for us. And sometimes there may be a night where nobody catches the baby and it falls and we don't win because nobody stepped up. But that hopefully will be far and few in between. There were moments like that last year. And then it was Fred. Fred had to jump in and do everything and try and save us when we're kind of drowning offensively. Well, I really do believe acquisitions like Otto Porter Jr. and Juancho Hernan-Gomez are going to help with these offensive stalls. That's how I'll call them. We stall on our offense sometimes. And I really do think these veteran acquisitions that were kind of understated, not really got a lot of spotlight by NBA people, are going to be huge help. That Otto Porter Jr. and Juancho are going to come with a certain pedigree and a certain professionalism that they're going to come in and they're going to hit big shots in those spots that we really need them to. So I'm excited about this season. Don't be afraid to say you think the Raptors can be number one in the Eastern Conference this year, because I totally believe that. And I think that it is going to happen. Let's just see how it goes. If we're number one by Christmas and then we're number one by the All-Star break, they're going to have to say something about us. This is the best way we make the case for Pascal Siakam to be one of the top 5 players in the league. This is the best way to make the case that we are a serious championship contender, is to get up at the top of the standings and prove it and show it and scare the hell out of the rest of the league, because we really can do it. It's just we've got to be the team that wins, out energies and out hustles and out muscles and just bullies the other teams to lose it. And we can do that. We very much can do that. Koloko is here now. Yeah. Speaking of Koloko, just real quick, Nick Nurse confirmed yesterday in his interview that he is going to use Koloko very much like Delano Banton last season, that he will be getting time on both teams. He will be splitting time between 905 and the main roster. And he said this is the reason why. It's a lot different getting 15 minutes on the main roster in main roster games and getting 40 minutes in the 905 level. And that he wants him to get the 15-minute little crunches here in the Scotiabank Arena, but he also wants to get his motor running for a 40-minute stint on the 905 level to really work him out with the reps of running up and down the court and playing a lot of minutes and testing out that motor on a 7'1" guy, Christian Koloko. So I predicted this like in the middle of summer. He's going to play him just like he played Delano last year. He's going to get a lot of time on both teams. He's going to get to play a lot on 905 and be one of the main players there. And then he's going to do spot rotation duty for us on the main roster. It was all confirmed yesterday. Good stuff. That's exactly what I wanted to hear from Nick Nurse on that and stuff like that. So, yeah, G saying the Raptors photo shoot was fire. Yeah, let's talk about that real quick since you brought it up. The Raptors did their media day pictures yesterday. They released them slowly but surely over the day. A lot of people were complaining because it was taking so long. We were like, just drop them. A lot of these thirsty women on Twitter are like, where is the OG pictures? Send them now. They were getting a little, they were sending messages to the admin of the Toronto Raptors account saying, just send them, damn it. But yeah, very creative, very different and unique, inventive style and what they did with the media day. I love that box when we saw it on media day, when they had the whole part with OG and Masai, OG coming in and sitting with Masai. We saw the picture finally and why they had that setup. And that's such a really cool setup. And they're taking a lot of pictures coming from the bottom, looking up at them. So they look really towering. And some of the pictures are very interesting because they really like showcase the length of like arms and fingers and stuff like that. And then you see the personalities of the guys in different places. Like I could look at these pictures and really psychoanalyze them to a degree. It's like, oh, look at OG. OG is just so casually laying there, just so at ease and stuff like that. Yeah, OG's pictures are cool. Chris Boucher, the length and stuff like that. Precious looks ferocious in his picture. We got some really good Pascal pictures where he has some real attitude in those. Delano just looks electric with his hair swinging and stuff like that. Yeah, just really cool media day pictures. If you have not seen them, go to the Toronto Raptors Instagram, go to their Twitter, go to any place there's Toronto Raptors official account. You will find these pictures, and they were fire. They may have been the most epic media day pictures in the history of NBA media days. All teams, our team, history, every time, any time. This is the greatest media day pictures ever made, I think. It's true. I mean, they're really cool. And like the collages with the body parts, you get these little like squares where you see like they're very specific tattoos and some of them pictures, and you're like, "Oh, that's cool. That's Gary Trent Sr." Stuff like that. It was really cool, really cool. And I didn't disagree with them rolling it out like that. I mean, they do that. That's part of how they were trying to build the anticipation. Well, they were really building anticipation for some people. They're like, just show me Gary. Twitter was funny yesterday. It was really funny. All the thirsty people for the Raptors media day pictures. Hilarious, hilarious. All right, Cool Cat says, I see that Scottie is in charge of the huddle now. I like how he is being prepared to be a team leader. Awesome. Yeah, I like that too. He didn't get on Twitch again yesterday, but they were really busy yesterday, it looks like. They had that thing last night, and then he was probably just shooting around for most of the day yesterday and stuff like that. But yeah, it is good. Scottie's going to be more and more a leader as time goes on, for sure. He definitely has that in him. You know that, Cool Cat. We watched him on 2K, and the way he tells Lloyd and Nardo and John French and stuff, like things on their team in the game. He's very much the captain there, too. So, yeah, respect to you, Logical Raptors fanatic. What was I going to say also about? One of the cool things about yesterday was they were showing the Noah system a little bit more up close. Like Malachi was taking shots, and there you can watch the Noah system in action in this little clip of Malachi. It is so cool. Like he's shooting really short, like mid range, over and over again. But the way that it tracks the ball, it shows where it hits the rim and how it's most likely to go in. And there's like a little, like, you got to make the 3 dots go green to get the shot right. And then in the middle, there's like a running shot percentage for how much he's been making the whole time. And you can literally see he was shooting 68% of all the shots were going in. And it's just really cool. Like you can really, really dissect stuff to a really find the detail as far as the jump shot and the way you're shooting it and the way it's hitting the rim, the way it's like what angle and stuff is very fascinating. I loved seeing that kind of detail. And it's crazy because you can take a little clip of him just sitting there and you can see so much information in that picture because of the Noah board behind him. Like all the different places where the ball has hit the rim and like everything. It's so crazy. It's a really cool system. And I think it's really awesome that they've hooked up that cha-ching noise in that OVO and anytime somebody makes a basket, it goes cha-ching, cha-ching. It really is kind of a Pavlov's dog kind of thing, the bell. If you hear that over and over again, they're not going to hear it in the game, but in their mind, they may be like cha-ching, cha-ching. And I think that may help our shooting percentage. Just that dumb little cash register noise is going to be like, cha-ching, cha-ching. I bet you it puts their shooting percentage up because they like hearing it. It's kind of like playing a flash game, a game on your phone, and it has that really nice noise when you do something and you accomplish something. You're like, oh, and you get that feeling of like, I want that again. So you're like, oh, I want to play the game a little bit more. And then, oh, there's that noise. Oh, it's that kind of feeling that you get addicted to hearing the cha-ching, cha-ching. So I really like the cha-ching noise, and you hear it in the background during the interviews and stuff like that in the OVO now. You'll hear them talking. You'll hear Nick Nurse talking about practice and this, injuries. And then all of a sudden you hear cha-ching, cha-ching, cha-ching in the background. It's just Malachi dropping shots through stuff like that. It's awesome. Let's see what else is going on. G saying Vital and Hawkins also on the 905. I really like more and more. I think about Ryan Hawkins being on the 905 this year is really awesome because he's such a dead eye. He's such a cool 3-point shooter, and he's going to be fun to watch on that level. And I wonder if he really gets in a groove. And we have a problem with 3-point shooting on the main roster. Is he going to get somehow, some way on the main roster this year just because of the way he is with his 3-point shooting? That could be very interesting to watch and develop. Ryan Hawkins' journey this season with the 905. He could end up being somebody like, if we're really in bad trouble and we need a more dead-eye, more capable 3-point shooter, we might call him up. I could see that because he was valuable at times in summer league, and he has a certain kind of shot. Like, there was a very impressive shooting display by him in one of the preseason games where he shot like 3 or 4 threes all of a sudden really quick and trying to help us get back into a game or something. Yeah, so I really like that he's there. Vital's going to be good too. He's going to be good. Good morning, Monique. Good to see you on a Monday morning. Always happy to see Raptors super fan Monique in the house. All right, let's see. DJ Precious. Yeah, I love that. Good morning, Sue. Good to see Sue's here also. Let's see. Nako's saying Scottie's form also generally looks better. Yeah, they worked with him on shooting school. They're still doing the shooting school stuff, I think, at OVO at night and stuff like that. So it's good that he's constantly tinkering with it and trying to get it right and stuff like that. But his shot does look way, way better from last year in some ways. And we saw it a little bit in the game in Montreal, that his way he squares up and he takes that three, it looks real good. It looks real good. Evidence. Let's get it. Monique saying, let's go. It's regular season is in 2 days. Let's go. Yes. Sue saying, I agree, people are sleeping on the Raps. If we can stay healthy, we will surprise all the doubters. For sure. We don't wake them up. We'll wake them up. We'll wake them up gently and then very roughly if they haven't woken up in time for the playoffs. We'll wake them up very roughly by then. Oh, yeah, we will. Kareem Thomas is saying, is it safe to say we hate Philadelphia or our true rival is Boston? All right, well, since this is a natural segue to going further down the countdown of the Eastern Conference that I have here, Philadelphia, I don't know. They're very much both good rivals. Like, I kind of equally think that they're good rivals for us right now. Philly is the more recent one, but there's get back that still needs to be get back against the Celtics. So there's get back against both of them that we have to pay back against them because we lost to both of them the last time we played them in the playoffs, and we need to get them back. Well, number 2 on my list for the Eastern Conference is the Philadelphia 76ers. I have a lot of esteem and respect for the Philadelphia 76ers going into the season. I did not last year. I did not the year before. I don't think I've had any esteem or respect for the Philadelphia 76ers since maybe Allen Iverson played for them until this year. So that says a lot that I don't think that they're inept at this point, that they've been an inept organization for a long time. They did the process. They were losing on purpose. They've had issues. They've had internal issues. Ben Simmons. They've had issues with different things with, inept management, bad coaches, different things like that, letting good players go like Jimmy Butler. Now, I don't think they're inept right now. I think that they're actually doing things correctly, and they look a little scary. In fact, I think they're our biggest rival this season coming up. Our biggest battle, our biggest test will be the Sixers this year. And it kind of makes sense because of what happened in the playoffs last year. We need to beat them and exercise the things that happened earlier this year in the playoffs with Joel Embiid and them. But yeah, Sixers second. And really is their offseason was very much went and took care of their needs. Much like we went out and took care of our shopping list of things we needed. They did the same thing. They got a much better bench now. They got more beef. They've got more better players overall. They had a very slim bench when they played us in the playoffs. Those guys that they had coming off the bench were not dependable. In fact, it was very similar to our bench. They had a tough time depending on their bench last year, the Sixers. Well, this year they're going to do better because they have more quality players. They have a good starting 5, and they have at least 3 good bench players that are going to be very much the same level of play as their starters in a lot of ways, with Montrezl Harrell around, PJ Tucker, and stuff like that. So I really do believe Philadelphia is the second best team in the East after us, that we will be the two teams. The Atlantic Division is going to be the top dog out of the three divisions in the Eastern Conference. That Atlantic Division teams are going to dominate this season to a degree between the three top ones, Boston, Philly, and us. So there you go. I think that the rivalry with Philly is a little more strong right now, Kareem, just because of the recent playoff. But we don't forget the bubble. And we saw how much we got up for these two preseason victories, overtime victories over the Celtics. So they both matter. And they can both be equally as important. Honestly, that's the way I look at it. Lolita, good to see you, Lolita. Good morning, Raptors freaks. So excited. The boys will take care of business. Let's go, Raptors. That's right. Business starts 7 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Wednesday. Cleveland Cavaliers. Let's go. Come on. I love it. So good to see you, Lolita. Always love seeing your name in the chat and stuff like that. All right, Cool Cat. I love to see the combo power game of OG and Scottie too. We have so many options to use to beat these teams. That's part of it, is like the destination to the W every game will not look the same. And part of our versatility and our different options and different ways we can do it is going to be partly that, and figuring it out. That some nights the one mismatch may be the key to a whole win, and that we need to just keep going to it over and over again. We bully ball Derek White over and over again or something like that. You know, that's the kind of stuff we have to be ready for. That the Raptors are going to be a changing thing over and over again throughout the season. It may be very much a Pascal week where Pascal just dominates like 4 games in a row one week, but then he's not there for a game. And all of a sudden we see like Gary Trent Jr. just step up and score like almost 40 points and stuff like that. We need to be ready for them to diversify who is the man at different times and doing different things, that it won't be the same people all the time. And Raptor fans need to stop being so nitpicky and looking at every little detail about every little thing, especially when the W's are what's coming out of the end of the game, the result for the Raptors. They're just getting wins. So, yeah, I really believe that. Click, good morning, Montreal. Raptor Freak Click. Logical saying Nick nurses about the long game and not just this year. Yeah, he knows it's not just about this. I think that this year we could actually really contend, though, Logical. I know that you may not totally believe in that you see a schedule that this is a year to set the table for next year. Well, fuck that. I want to go for it this year. Yeah, let's not mess around. You know, we could actually do a lot of good stuff and get in a good position for this. The one main goal I think they have is to at least get further in the playoffs and show improvement on top of that. That could be the main general goal. And that could mean go all the way and get the championship. I dream out loud on a YouTube channel live on 9:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time every day. I dream out loud. I will dream loudly that the Raptors will win the championship in 2023. I'm crazy. I can do this. I'm not a journalist. I'm a fan. And I'll just say whatever and say, yeah, they're going to win. And we're going to win a championship. And I'll keep saying it. Toronto Raptors, NBA champions 2023. Toronto Raptors, NBA champions 2023. The more you speak it into existence, the more it may happen. So that's what I'm going to say. I say it every day. Toronto Raptors, NBA champions 2023. Over and over again. Over and over and over again. Tom Duke saying, who is getting most improved player? Delano Banton or Precious? You mean within our team? Because they're not going to get it league-wide. Although Precious could. If he does a certain level of excellence and crazy like jump up, he might get most improved player. But I don't see Delano getting it. But that would be crazy if he did. That would be really fantastic. On the team between the two of them, I don't know. Right now, it is Delano by far. Delano is definitely the most improved player from last season. And I don't know. Precious is going to have to show more in another level in the regular season for me to believe that. But Delano is definitely the most improved from last season right now out of everybody on the Raptors, at least just for his capability and his confidence. Tom saying Jalen got waived by the Knicks. Sorry, Paul. Okay, so Jalen Harris got waived. A lot of people have been getting waived in the last couple of days. It's just the nature of the business. It's just how it is and stuff like that. Cool Cat saying very creative pictures of our team. I know, it's so fun. And it makes you proud to be a Raptors fan to see such high quality, such creativity, such awesomeness. And this was something these guys have been planning for like a year. Go watch the little video on Instagram of the creator talking about this project and why he did the things that he did the way he did it and stuff like this, and how much it was like a process of developing the concept to get to this point. This is not by accident. Anything that they did with those pictures, that was very thought out and very methodical in what they did and stuff like that. Very, very cool. Scott B's here. Good to see another Montreal Raptor freak. Pascal is a top 5, and the Raptors will be number 1. All you got to watch is these guys in their interviews on TV and on the courts. People don't want to see it, but they have no choice. There's a lot of championship vibes. There's a lot of feeling about that, like around them. They feel it themselves. Fred said this preseason has made him feel like the 2018 preseason. There's a buzz. There's a feeling about this team that's very similar to the beginning of the season when we won the championship. That's what I'm saying. These guys understand. And it's a crazy thing. We have an advantage over Tatum and Brown because we've done it and we've won it. We have an advantage over the Sixers because we've done it. We won it. We've been to these places. I don't understand why we don't get more credit for that. If the Warriors are a favorite because they've done it and they won it, why aren't we? We've done it and we've won it. They don't respect that. They always think that, oh, Kawhi took some magic way to get to the finals with him. Well, fuck that. We're going to show y'all. Fred VanVleet and Pascal Siakam get the finals without Kawhi Leonard. And you're going to see that this year, Raptors fans. So do not doubt. Believe. Yes. Monique saying, see, Lex, I knew it about Koloko with the 905 as well. Yeah, we were both calling it. It just makes the most sense. 905 is a great system for this exact reason. And you know what's really beautiful about it? If you think about this, if Koloko's going to be playing the minutes between 905 and the main roster, very similar to Delano Banton did, look at Delano Banton's career arc in just his first year as a rookie. So think about that. If we give him the Delano Banton treatment from last year, Koloko may get accelerated. And what will he look like next year going into the season as far as his development? Let's take a timestamp right now and think about Koloko 2 days before this season starts and where he's at right now. And let's remember this next year, 2 days before the season starts, and think about where Koloko is then after going through that Delano Banton rookie year treatment of going through both teams. That's going to be very interesting. In fact, he may be accelerated much like our friend, Mr. Banton, Mr. 45 Buzz. So I'm very excited to see what 1 year of everything for Koloko will bring and see how far he is by then. Because it could be very interesting, because this is the thing. He may not develop this offensive stuff that he's showing flashes of on the main roster, but he will on 905. In fact, they may go to him and really feed him a lot in the post, and he may become like a 20-point scorer on the 905 level just because they go to him. He's one of our go-to main scorers on that team this year. So there's some really interesting things about him splitting time between both places, and it's going to be really good. It's going to be really good for him. It's going to be really good for the 905. It's going to be really good for the main roster Raptors also. I love it so much. Scott B saying all about development. Coco is going to be a beast in the playoffs for us. Watch what Raptors development brings out of this kid. Yeah, maybe by the end of this year. Like, that's another factor. Is like, what if Koloko develops over this season and he really is a huge, strong contributor to the main roster rotation by the playoffs? And that in the playoffs, he shows a lot of stuff that we may have needed against Philadelphia last year, that he's bringing all of a sudden, because that's just who he is. He's a rim protector. He can run the court, and he has a high basketball IQ for a 7'1" young man with such a wingspan. So there's all kinds of like potential that with this kid that's amazing. It's absolutely amazing. Kareem saying Otto Porter Jr. had the best pictures of the team. Okay, you like Otto's pictures the best? He came out first, I think. Oh no, Wancho did. He has a picture. His face looks like, who the fuck are you? He's like, get away from me. He's looking up. He's looking. The shoes are colorful. Yeah, I like how they do the 2-picture like slide over where you see half the picture and then you go over and there's more of it. Yeah, Otto's cool, man. We really do forget like he's on the team. The last picture of Otto is awesome. I love the picture with him sticking his tongue out. It's just so awesome. We keep forgetting he's on this team because we haven't really seen him at all. He's kind of like on layaway right now. Like, oh, we got this new product and stuff like that, but we can't get it yet because it hasn't come in to the store. And they'll call us and they'll say, oh, it's in now. You can come get it and stuff like that. I really feel like this is what's happening with Otto because he's going to show up and it's going to be like a boost all of a sudden on top of what we're already doing because he's going to come out of nowhere and add to everything. It's going to be awesome. It's going to be so awesome. Incompetent Engineering, thanks for your sub, and I appreciate it. I hope you'll join us more live and every day. I'll read every comment you guys write in here as far as it's pertaining to things that we're talking about, stuff like that. Quick question: do you think this outfit has the potential to grow into a free-flowing full court system in the future, or are we always going to be grit and grind like Eastern powerhouses always are? That's been a lot of the talk recently is our half court offense is awkward, isn't always so smooth and stuff like that. I want us to do more full court transition off of turnovers and get into the break and get those easy baskets. But we had two things working against us last season to get that cleanly and going. One of them was the take foul. The take foul very much threw a mess up into us being a more fast break transition game because it was real easy for them to just grab people and it kills momentum. It doesn't allow you to have the flow and things to make it easier to get easier baskets. It was really insidious, actually. It was ruining the game. And that's why they made the change. Now, we haven't really seen it call yet, and the effect that the new take foul will have this season on this aspect of the Raptors. This is going to be good for us because we may actually have a much better offense just because of this rule change, freeing us up to get out and run instead of getting tied up by somebody hugging somebody. Oh, I'm going to hug you before you get a dunk. It's so bad because we want to see that entertainment. So that rule change in itself is going to help things. And then the other thing is that the Raptors want to play a transition, but they've been doing bad stuff in transition, like where they don't finish. They'll get a really good steal, and then all of a sudden they'll get back, but they missed the bunny, or they just weren't efficient in the fast break. They'd have 2-on-1 opportunities, they'd have 3-on-2 opportunities, and they'd still get stopped by the defense with a man advantage. And that was crazy to me. I was like, why aren't these guys better at finishing fast breaks when they have the numbers? Because they're getting stopped still. So that's something they could clean up also. So if you think about it that way, if we make it easier to get transition baskets by executing better in those situations, this is something that Nigris has talked about twice this weekend in his interviews, executing better off of transition opportunities, off of turnovers. And then also the take foul rule starts changing whether people hug people, then maybe we can get going. And this is something they keep saying and signaling in training camp right now, that they want to pick up the pace. As crazy and frenetic and up and down the court as we were before, they want to notch it up even more. That because of our depth and more quality players on our roster, he wants these guys to go out and play like 7 to 10 minute stints where they're going absolutely all out. Like they need to be as exhausted as Chris Boucher was that one day when he collapsed at the end of the bench. He wants nobody's going to be like saving energy. He wants them bursting the whole time that they're on the court each time. So it's going to be very interesting. He wants to increase the amount we score. He wants to increase the amount of opportunities we're getting for shots. And that means higher tempo. He wants to pick up the pace. So it's going to be very fun. I want to see what happens with all this and see if he's successful in different things. I think the take foul rule change is going to be huge for us. And it's going to absolutely help our transition game this year. So great first question, Incompetent. And I hope I kind of answered some of it for you. We would like to have a more free-flowing full court game, but it really was hampered by that stupid wraparound and also our lack of being able to finish. I don't understand why we wouldn't finish with 2 defenders and we have 3 guys coming at it. It's just maybe playing and passing it the right way to the right person so that they're actually the open one that can lay it in and stuff like that. Scott B saying, can't believe how blind everyone is to how ready we are. But Boston knows. It was awesome watching our bench pound them. I know. Well, they have a blind spot with us. The American media has a blind spot with us, and in fact, Canadian media has a blind spot with us. They don't want to say that we're that good either. And this feeds to why our population here in Canada doesn't totally trust or believe in the Raptors. Is because you'll see an NBA preview show like I'm doing today on TSN, and they won't give them respect. They'll actually say the Raptors are probably going to be fifth or sixth this season in the conference standings and stuff like that. They'll poo-poo them too. And that'll reinforce general sentiment among our fans here on this side of the border. They hear it from the States. They hear it from our people here. And they're going to say, oh, well, we're not that good. We're like fourth. Fuck that, man. Aim for the sky. Shoot for the moon. Go all the way, baby. Who wants to be number 4? Who wants to be number 3? Ricky Bobby? There's only one. It's number 1, baby. You got to be number 1, Ricky Bobby. That's right. I'm going to be saying that. You got to be number 1. Good morning, David Saborin. Always happy to see David. David is a normal person here. Tomorrow, last Raptor Freak Classic Jurassic trivia for the off season. Then we're going to be getting into games and stuff. So trivia will not be regularly on Tuesday, but will be coming up some time to time during the season. But get that last regular trivia in tomorrow, 9:30 a.m. I know David will be there. Tom Duke saying cha-ching, cha-ching, cha-ching. Yes, that noise is so satisfying. It's like in Super Mario Brothers where you're hitting the block and ching, 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 ching. You know what I'm talking about in Super Mario Brothers when you're hitting the bricks and you're getting the coins. Scott B saying, Tom, I say Delano Banton, but could be Precious too. Both are going to have a good year, and we can count on that. I think that Precious would get more consideration for most improved player just because of the level where he is on the roster, that he is very much a fringe starter. And that, that people are still looking at him kind of from his rookie year in Miami, because that's the last time they saw him before he went into the witness protection agency, which is called playing for the Toronto Raptors, and to the U.S. media. So they only base things on what they saw of him in Miami. So if he has huge leaps like he did last year, another huge leap this year, they'll be like, what the hell? What happened with what? He got traded for Kyle Lowry? And the Heat fans will be like, what the fuck? Why did we let Precious go? And then people will be like, this dude's really good. And then he'll get consideration for most improved player. Like it really is, he's going to have to be consistent. He's going to be having to be overpowering, and the stats are going to have to look good too. But he is actually somebody who could be in the running for most improved player this year. Precious, just because they see him from what he was in his rookie year in Miami. And then if he has a huge leap, they won't pay attention to what he did last year. They'll poo-poo it. And if he has another huge leap this year, they'll be like, holy crap, this guy's the most improved player from his year in Miami. They'll forget he had 1 year with us already. That's just you got to game the system to your favor every which way. It's hilarious. Seymour's here. Good to see Seymour Pape. Sheriff Seymour Pape. We haven't seen you a bit. Raptor Freak Seymour Pape. Always happy to see you again. Back just in time for the season to start. Let's go, Raptor Freak. So happy you're back, Seymour. And I knew a lot of you guys. I'm so happy to see how much you guys have come back, because there's been a lot of you that I didn't see a lot over the summer, but you're all coming back now that the season's starting back up. Callie, Seymour, I'm so happy to see people like you again. And yeah, we're going to make it fun this year. And preview on Wednesday, Cleveland Cavaliers here, Scottie Bank Arena, 7 p.m. Eastern time. Get there early. Get to that arena early if you're going. Tom Duke saying, yes, them both being in that convo would be sweet. Let's go, Seymour. Yes, I love to see it. There's the 5 Raptors from Tom Duke. Seymour saying morning to Tom. Scott B saying definitely hate Philly and Boston equally. In some ways I hate Boston more than Philly just because a random gamer. I really am kind of like have more respect for Philadelphia just because of the Philly fans we talk to on this channel and stuff like that. So random gamer, when you watch my preview, yeah, that's right. Toronto number 1, Philly number 2. We're the 2 top teams in the East in my eyes, Toronto and Philly. So let's go to the third one. The third team on my list is the Milwaukee Bucks. You got to give some respect to Giannis. You got to give some respect to a good winning team that has won a championship in the last couple of years. So they do have that championship pedigree. And in some ways they get slighted like we do, that nobody talks about them. It's like, give them the respect that they deserve, because these men have won a chip too. They have rings, Chris Middleton and Giannis Antetokounmpo. And the only reason why I wouldn't put them higher in this ranking is that they don't seem like they did a whole lot this offseason. In fact, they kind of like lost players and kind of just replaced them. Nothing really too big up or down. So I don't really expect them to be much better. And the reason why I wouldn't put them over us in the standings, we swept their ass last year. And I'm sorry, we have kryptonite for Giannis Antetokounmpo, apparently. So I don't worry about the Bucks. We handled them in the playoffs. So when we play the Bucks in the playoffs this year, we will handle them again. That's our thing. The Raptors beat the Bucks. That's just how it goes. You can ask Norman Powell; he will tell you that we just beat the Bucks, and he was a big part of that over the years and stuff like that. So I respect Milwaukee. They are a good team. They have the best player in the league, and you have to give them respect. That's why I put them in third. They are one of the top Eastern teams, and you very much have to respect them. But once again, the Raptors played them so well, and we have their number. It's very much like Detroit has our number. We have Milwaukee's number. So, yeah, I don't worry about them too much, but I do respect them, and they are dangerous. But I put them number 3 in the Eastern Conference standings for this year. I think they'll end up being third by the end of the year. Now, number 4 is Boston. I couldn't slight them that much. I knew that, some people are going to say, oh, they're just number 1, oh, they're number 2, or they're number 3. Well, I don't think so because of this coach issue. That this coach is not going to get respect. I've said this a lot in the last week since we've been playing Boston in the preseason. That coach Mazzola has not got clout. He doesn't have respect with the refs. He may not have all the expertise that is needed in late game situations. I've seen from the way we beat them in the 2 overtimes. He may not have certain things that Udoka has. So it is definitely a downgrade at the coaching position. And I really don't have confidence in him guiding them in really tough situations late. They're going to lose games that they would have won if they had Udoka coaching. So I got to downgrade them just for the coach difference. And then, having Robert Williams at the beginning of the season, they're going to struggle right from the start. I think the Boston Celtics will be a 500 team until Christmas, and that they'll start to pick up steam later on the season. So I fully expect them to end up 4th, and that's still pretty good. That's home court advantage in the first round, and that is still giving them respect for being the team in the finals from the Eastern Conference last year. But they're going to have problems this year, and a lot of Boston fans already see it, and they understand that. That's part of why they're chirping, we want a good victor. We want a good victor. Y'all were in the finals last year. Have some dignity. Jeez. You were in the finals last year. Why are you going for victor? You're crazy, Celtics fans. You are crazy. Oh, yeah. So there's my top 4 right there. Toronto, Philly, Milwaukee, Boston. Those are the top 4 Eastern teams in my eyes right now. Yeah. Yeah. Seymour saying, like Masai said, fuck Brooklyn. And that's what I'm doing in these rankings. Yeah. Brooklyn, you think just because they have these names, just because they're on paper, well, you may be shocked to see where I put them in my rankings for this year. Yeah. Good morning, Evelyn. So happy to see Raptor Freak, Granny Evelyn, saying good morning to the Raptor Freak crew. Monique saying so many of us want Ryan Hawkins to make the big club after Summer League. Deadly indeed. And look, he is very intriguing to have in the back catalog just in case, and just like in different ways. Like if he's in our system, and in some different things, he can do certain things like some Matt Thomas kind of like spot shooting, kind of like, Jason Capono kind of stuff. I'm all right with that. Scott B saying, yeah, Seymour, fuck Brooklyn. Yeah, that's one of our guys. Fuck Brooklyn, trust in Masai, be grateful, I don't shoot to miss. These are all our sayings in our cult. These are the things that are, as monks, Raptor Freak monks, we put the hood up and we chant in the hall of the Golden Orb, the Larry O'Brien. We say, trust in Masai, trust in Nick Nurse. Freddie. Chris comes saying, I got the invite for the first game. If you or me, are you calling in sick? Listen, when do you work? Do you work in the evening during the game? I don't know. You should do it. I mean, listen, if it's me, I'm the Raptor Freak. I'm going, man. I'll make an excuse or something like that. I don't know. You need to be slick about this, Criscom, and figure it out. I bet you if you can figure out how to get there and not worry about missing a little bit of a paycheck just because you didn't go to work during that time, I'd go to the game. Especially if you're not paying to go to the game, go to that game and get loud like a Raptor Freak would. Yell it loud, stay loud, and yell that defense. Oh, yeah, Criscom. I'm going to say, yeah, like David's saying, obviously, Criscom, go. We're going to tell you to go. Now I'm going to say, be responsible, Criscom. Go to your job. No, fuck that. Live your life. Be happy. Have fun. Click saying a lot of people believe the October schedule will be tough, but in reality, most of the season will be like that. The NBA is extremely competitive. There's no more nights off. I really believe this. In fact, when I was doing these standings, the predictions, I was like, damn, there's a lot of good teams in the Eastern Conference. This is hard to figure out who's going to be out of the playoffs because there are some teams that could very well make the playoffs that are very close and stuff like that. The competition is very high. Clicks right. And I like that we have such a hard schedule right away because we're getting thrown into the fire. We get tempered like steel and we get like the hard stuff right away. And we're ready for it. That's the great thing. Other teams may not be ready for the kind of schedule we got right at the beginning. But not the whole schedule isn't like this. We actually have some really easy parts of the schedule. It's just in some different places and stuff like that. In fact, near the end of the year, we have a nice stretch with a lot of these teams that may be tanking for victor that are going to be playing near the end. So that's a good thing for us too. Is like it does all balance out a certain way. And we also got to realize this season's going to morph. By the end of the season, when we have to play Boston 2 games in a row, right at the end of the season, we don't know if Boston may be even in contention at that point. We don't know where they'll be. They may be in a rough place by then, by the end of the season, because Mazzola has been a horrible coach and they've had all kinds of bad dumpster fire kind of stuff happening. So it could very well be that Boston's a cream puff at the end of the season for the 2 home games we got to play against them in Boston. That they may be out of it and they may be kind of doing some things to get to a draft pick and stuff like that. So who knows? A lot of things could change during the season. Different teams could try and get into the victor sweepstakes at different times. And that could change the schedule difficulty on the fly as the season's going on and stuff like that. We're going to have to see who the real tank teams are going to be, who has real tank commander kind of leadership going on, and who is actually kind of like, and they may change during the season. The team could be real shitty. All of a sudden, the team is just like, all right, we're going to fuck this. We're going to try and go for victor and shit like that. So we don't know how it's going to go. Right now, it does look like it's super tough and stuff like that. But some of the people are going to get sussed out and they're going to be pretenders. Leslie's saying, I think Philly thinks of us as their rivals, especially Joel Embiid after we won the chip. Yeah, they do to a degree. They definitely do. Historically, it's Boston and Philly. That's a huge rivalry. So it's really a 3-way triangle of hate. There's like hate going every which way between us, our 3 teams in the Atlantic Division right now. I won't even include Brooklyn. I'm not going to give you respect, Brooklyn, because you don't play at the big boy table with Philadelphia and Boston right now. Yeah, you don't. In fact, let's keep going with my rankings. At number 5, I have the Miami Heat. And it really is partly because of their veteran edge, their coach, their leadership, their organization, their things like that. I could put them lower because I do feel like they're aging, that they're looking a little older this year, that they're they're not as big now that they lost the Morris brother and PJ Tucker. They're going to have some problems with beef, that they got less beefy as a team. And I don't think that they're going to be as strong as they were last year. I think they're going to be a little bit worse than they were last year. But they're still to be respected just because there are people like Kyle Lowry on that team. There are people like Jimmy Butler running around on that team. And these guys are real winners. So they're going to play really well and they're going to play hard, but they may just not have it in certain ways. I really do think that Miami is not as good as they were last year, that they've lost PJ Tucker in particular, and that's going to show for them and how they play this year and stuff like that. A lot of people are saying, oh, they're so good. Tyler Hero's going to get better and better. Fuck that guy. He's not going to be that much better. He's really kind of hit his ceiling in some ways. Y'all put all this money on him and stuff like that, like he's going to go another level or two. I don't see it. This dude is not. He's actually kind of playing above where he should probably be playing at this point already and stuff like that. And that's just his moxie. So, yeah, I don't have any faith in Miami, but I will respect them enough to give them the 5th seed in the end of the year and stuff, because they will do well during the season. Spoelstra is just really good at coaching the wins, and I have to respect that and stuff like that. So that's what I'm saying right there. Yeah. David saying, except for Kawhi, smiley face. Scott B saying, look at the Raptors. They aren't taking no nights off as a team or individually. Can't wait to get this going. Go Raptors. Yeah. And if they are, they're getting the bench right away. If somebody's not coming with the right effort, they're going to come right out and they're going to put somebody else who's hungry and wants to put that time in. Maybe Jeff Doughton Jr. It could be stuff like that. Jeff is going to be such an interesting player for us this year. He's going to be very useful. Trust me. Jeff Doughton Jr. is going to be very useful this year. I love it. Click saying most improved players are usually all-stars. Are they always? Maybe. That may be what keeps us out of it. is that, yeah, they, maybe, I don't know, maybe Scottie could win most improved player this year. I don't think he could, though. Probably not. Cool Cat saying Nick Nurse said we can keep up the intense, fast paced energy by putting guys in and out. Yeah, that's really what he expects to do. He wants these guys to burst all out in the little bits of time that they do and then come right back out. And that he has enough people to continually roll them in and out fresh and stuff like that. Is really smart. OG will be most improved player when he plays a lot of games. That could be. All right, Boston Sports is saying, oh, man, did I miss the Eastern Conference standings predictions? No, Boston. I got you at 4th. I got us. Us, number 1. I have to. It's a Raptor Freak channel, and I really do believe it. I do believe that we can be number 1 in the Eastern Conference by the end of the year. Number 2, Philly. Number 3, Milwaukee. And you guys, number 4. That is my predictions right now for the season. And I kind of went over it a little bit, why I think Boston will be number 4. You may have heard it. I think you might have been here. Let's see. Cool Cat saying, Masai said we are chip ready this year. Nurse said he expects a deep second round. However, I feel we can come out of the East if we are clicking. Yeah, well, they're it's weird because they're kind of switching roles in what they've been saying. Like Masai's been saying, be patient. And Nick Nurse is saying, we're going to win now. Well, now it's flipping. Masai's saying, we are chip ready this year. And Nick Nurse is saying, we'll probably have a second round exit or something. He just wants to improve on last year and temper expectations. Let's just see how good we can get. And if we look so good, everybody will start saying these guys are real championship contenders. It's going to really contingency on Scottie Barnes, Precious Achua, and Christian Koloko, people like that are rising up and showing an incredible amount of more than what we had last year, on top of what we did last year and stuff like that. I can see it. I can really see it. Monique saying, I called Jalen not making the Knicks roster. Yeah, that was a real long shot for him. This is the thing. We're seeing on the level that we deal with this, what level players, it's so hard to make the league. It is not easy to do this at all. It is not. Cool Cat saying Koloko will be ready for the playoffs. He learns fast and he's focused. That's what I'm saying. I want to check in with him and see where he's going to be at this time next year. Where is he going to be in the playoffs next spring? Where is he going to be by All-Star break? Where is he going to be by Christmas? Where is he going to be? That's what I want to know. Scott B saying, okay, NE Roofing and Reno serving the GTA. Okay, you're here in Toronto. All right, guys. Y'all, if you have a house that you need roofed or you need new shingles, maybe you have a leak, maybe you have a problem with pets or something, or not pets. They're not your pets if they're a raccoon in your roof or something like that, or something. Maybe you have an issue with your roof getting torn up by a raccoon trying to bring pizzas into your roof to feed their little babies that are in your roof, and you don't even know it. That's happening at my neighbor's house. I watch them. They go in and out of their roof all the time. They don't even know. Maybe I should go tell them. I don't know. But yeah, if you're having a roofing problem, call Scott B. He's NE Roofing and Renos here in the GTA, serving the GTA since 1997. Scott B's company can help you out. If you have water coming into your house from upstairs, you need to get that fixed. He calls Scott B. NE Roofing and Renos, serving the GTA since 1997. There you go, Scott B. All right, there we go. I got the plug in. I love it. Click saying Koloko will struggle in the playoffs with fouling. Well, we'll have to see. We'll have to see. He's going to learn a lot. He's going to be on a journey about the world of fouling in the NBA this whole season. He's going to learn a lot this season. And it's great that he has good professors around him, like Jamal McGlure, like Kem Birch, like Thad Young, people that can teach him the things to do to avoid getting stupid fouls and stuff like that. He's smart, though. And you know what? He probably will learn quick. One of the things about our young players, and the reason why we're so good so quick with such young people, is that they really are committed. They're not half-assing. They sponge all the information. Scottie Barnes doesn't have to be taught something twice most often. He'll take it in and he'll listen because he trusts, and he'll just start doing it. And he wants to get as good as possible. That is the best thing when you have willing students, people that really are intelligent and can take the information in and really utilize it right away. That is a fast track for how to get better, is because you're willing, you sponge it, and you're smart, and you have the aptitude and the IQ to take it in. And he was already advanced, Scottie, when he came in. He had all these great instincts that made him advance right away. And in some ways, Koloko has some of that in the ways that a big man needs it. Like, he has really good certain instincts. So it's really going to be just cleaning up dumb fouls. Like, oh, you can't put both your hands on him like this because that's a foul. Or you can't do that. He's going to make you foul him if you let yourself be vulnerable to this type of move from him, like Al Horford did to him the other night and stuff like that. That's just cleaning it up and learning. And let's see how good he is at not getting fouls by the end of the season. He could be very good at this just because he's listening, he's smart, he has IQ, and he wants to learn, and he's learning as quickly as possible and stuff like that. It's going to be interesting. Cool Cat saying, yep, Raptor Freak Nick Nurse has a new strategy, faster paced game this year. The Canadian media trying to follow the U.S. media to get attention from U.S. I ignore them. I know. I can't watch the media up here either. It's crazy. I get more information just from the team sites itself, the interviews and stuff like that, and reading the Twitter guys. Like they help me too, like Josh Lewenberg, Doug Smith, Blake Murphy, Michael Grange. But then it's really other people's content, like Logical Raptors Fanatic, like Confederacy of Dunks, like Raptors Republic. The Raptors show, different places like that. Nick Nurse is on Will Lou's show this morning. That's awesome. I'm sure that's going to be a really good interview. The Raptors show with Will Lou and Alex Wong. They got Nick Nurse as a guest this morning. Really good stuff. Great get and stuff like that. All right, let's keep going. Scott B saying, not after the best development in the NBA. That's right, Scott B. I agree with that. Click saying, Precious needs to hit his threes and finish his shots in the paint more consistently. Yeah, he'll get better at that. I think he's really good. Like he's a good percentage already, but he will improve on this kind of stuff. Scott B saying that Precious looked incredible in person in Montreal. Yeah, that one dunk must have been so fun to see in real life. That one where he came and he just attacked the rim and just, oh man, that would have been so fun to see in real life. Click saying the latest most improved winners have been players who took the jump from a good player to an all-star. I think it will be Anthony Edwards. Could be. I think he's already too good to be most improved over this season. He should have gotten in last year. I know, because they gave it to Ja Morant last year, right? They gave him most improved. I didn't totally agree with that. They do that award differently than they used to. They really do. Monique saying, did you see the Raptors' new merch? Mitch and Ness collabs with the Raptors Legend League. No, I haven't seen that. That's interesting, Monique. I'd be interested to see that. Boston Sports said something, I don't see it. You got us number one. That's a tad bit unrealistic. I could see his top four best case scenario. I don't think number one. Click, you got to believe, man. Of course we can be number one. I said it at the beginning of the stream. I don't really want to repeat it, but it really has to do with building off of last season, not having Pascal injured for the beginning of the season, having better players, having a better bench, having more of a focus on cleaning up the offense because the defense looks really good. No, we're going to be number one, baby. And I'll say this over and over again for the whole season. I really do feel this strongly and stuff like that. I'm not unrealistic about this. This is completely realistic. And it's just a gaslighting of the media that tells you that this isn't possible. We're going to be number one. And when you remember that I said this stream today is a stream that I want people to come look at in April next year. I really do. I want them to look at what I say on this stream today about the Eastern Conference finishing the way it finishes. And go look at what TSN says. Go and look at what ESPN says. Go and look what TNT and all their experts say. And go look what I said and see who is more correct by the end of the season. And you may be shocked that I probably am more correct than them, even with me putting Toronto Raptors number one and stuff like that. I truly believe this. This is the ultimate Raptor freak thing to believe, that the Raptors are going to be number one in the East this year. And it's not crazy and it's not unrealistic. It's very, very possible. And we'll see it more and more as the season goes on. Leslie saying, hey, Click, the Lakers have the hardest schedule. They could be done after 1 month. Leslie, they are really, oh man, they're a mess. They're going to be bad. They lost so badly to Sacramento last week. They're going to be bad again this year. Laker fans, this is not your year to rise back up again. Trust me, it's not. Russell's still there. You still got a problem. Lolita saying, always watching the show. You guys are fun, even just to listen to. The opinions and discussions are excellent. Love the show. All thumbs up to all Raptor freaks. Thumbs up to you, Lolita. We love you, and we appreciate you coming in and listening and also contributing from time to time. My sister and I believe that the Raptors will win the chip this year and back-to-back after. I love this, Lolita. Yes, I love this. That's the direction we need to go in. Let's get back to back. Let's get the first one first, and then let's get those good vibes going towards a back-to-back. This is what I'm talking about. A Raptors dynasty starting from 2019 with Scottie Barnes coming in with Fred VanVleet and Pascal being champions already. I want to link them with some rings. I want Freddie's got one. I want him to get 2, 3, 4, and 5, just like the Spurs did over a 15-year period. I want to get 5 championships from 2019 up until 2034. I want to have 5 championships by 2034. This is the ultimate grand scheme of things in my plan for Raptors Dynasty and feeling like the San Antonio Spurs franchise by 2034. 5 rings, 1 for each finger for Mr. VanVleet. That's what I'm saying right here. That's what it's all about, baby. Yeah. Lolita is giving you her heart. Back at you. That's awesome. Milwaukee is in trouble. Click saying Milwaukee's in trouble. They could be. I don't know. I like them to have some dumpster fires. I like them to have a couple of issues, a couple of problems and stuff like that. We'll have to see. Duke Rocks is saying those were really some cool nuggets Nurse dropped at practice yesterday. He expects an improved half-court offense, which is music to my ears. Yes. Thank you, Nick Nurse, for being so clear and open and transparent about what you were thinking, what is going on, and what you're talking about with the team and where you're at with them. Thank you so much. It really does fill in the blanks, and it helps in the information war among Raptor fans where they're talking and say, well, listen, he just said this is what he wants to do and stuff, and we can give you evidence and say, well, this is what he wants to do. He has a plan for our offense in half court and why we're having problems and stuff like that. He really is going to try and play off of the players off each other a little bit more better and stuff like that. We want to see good assist numbers. The assist number is going to be a huge important assist category. The category is going to be very important this season. We want to see 25 assists per game at least and stuff like that, if not 30 assists per game. I'd love to see that even more so. Click saying Middleton out the first few weeks, rehab an injury from last season. That's definitely going to hurt them. It's definitely going to hurt them to start. And let's see how Milwaukee starts off their season, stuff like that. We don't see them early, I don't think. So I don't think we're going to get to enjoy that, not seeing Middleton when they come. Duke saying, will Koloko spend time in 905? Nurse said he would mostly to let him see what 40 minutes feels like versus 15 with the big club. It's a conditioning thing. He wants to get him to do like a 40-minute workout game feel so that he can be ready for that on the big roster. It's very, very similar to what he did with Delano. We can expect Nick Nurse to handle Christian Koloko in very much the same kind of way as Delano Banton last season in his rookie year, that he's going to be very heavy on 905 and sprinkled into main roster games here and there for maybe like 10 to 15-minute periods a game and stuff like that. He very much just said it. Like you said in your statement, 15 minutes on the main roster, time to time, and 40 minutes like starter main kind of minute kind of got stuff on 905 level. It's beautiful. It's perfect. And if it has the same results that it's had for Mr. Banton over the last year, we will be in very good shape with how Koloko's developed in 1 year's time from now. Yeah. Logical saying, wait, what time is the show coming on at? Will Lou's show today? I don't know what they're on normally at. I don't know. I don't listen to them. I don't, but I saw that he's going to be on there, and that's important. That's a good thing to watch and listen to because it's Nick Nurse, straight from the horse's mouth, stuff like that. Duke Rock saying bigger role is by committee. Depends on what the defense is giving you. You may get points on one night and assists on another night. It's about sharing the ball and making the right play. Yeah, this is what he was saying. Nick was saying, Duke's echoing here. It's like there may be mismatches on certain nights that make it really attractive to go to OG more often or something like that. Something like that could happen. It really is going to be reading the other team and what they're giving us. It could have to actually be what the other team's defensive scheme is for us and trying to find the seam or the crack in it or the vulnerability. And it could change night to night. And it may mean like we don't go to the spin cycle Pascal Siakam over and over again. It may be that Gary is getting more free and open and easier for him to shoot. It really is that our players have to get better at reading the defense and really breaking it down. And really, really looking for the best mismatch and being aggressive, taking it. We'd see mismatches last year, but they were not getting the ball to them aggressively in time to execute it. It would be a little half-assed and then it wouldn't work. You need to see it right away and be cutthroat and go right to it and execute it. That's what they got to do, because that really is where our strength is on offense, is mismatches. So we got to be constantly reading them and taking advantage. And we haven't done that enough in an effective way for the rest of the league. Is we haven't been affecting the defenses. The more we do that, then we'll look more really like a capable offensive system. And everybody will be like, oh, now we're really clicking. Because that's the thing. We're not even clicking on our offense, and we're a badass 60% winning team. We get a little bit more higher just if we start clicking on our offense. So the potential is there. That's why I think we can be number one, is we figure things out on offense. Look out, it's over for the rest of the league. Because the defense and everything, the energy and everything that we do on that side is so badass. We start playing offense a little bit better, it's even worse for them. Oh my gosh. That was actually the one thing that saved other teams. That was the Raptors are so bad at offense sometimes. That was the only thing that was saving teams sometimes last season. It's crazy. Let's see. A bigger role was in reference to OG, but Nurse said all players should be asking for bigger roles. Yeah, I love how he handled that question. They asked him, it's like, well, how was this thing with OG this summer, asking you about his role? And is he not getting played? That bullshit that Jake from State Farm made up. Well, we talk all the time. There's no issue. He understands what he can do to get more and carve out more of a role. You know, he has the opportunity. It's always there. In fact, it's there for all these guys. It's, you guys think the press and different fans and people think about it in a totally different way than the way the players and the coach think about this. They're not thinking about limiting. They're not thinking about, oh, it's mine and I'm selfish and he can't get his because he's taking from me. That's not how they think. They're thinking about sharing, and as Precious gets better, I get better. As Scottie gets better, I get better. And Nick really has it this way. He's like, you guys want opportunity, the sky's the limit. I'm not going to limit you guys, but you have to go and earn it, and you have to go and take it. And that's the way to build amazing things, because nobody is feeling like, oh, he is a favorite or he's doing this or that. It's all very equal. And it's equal among the players too. Like, they want to see each other succeed. Pascal was talking about it yesterday. He's like, it's going to be so hard not to get up out of my seat and celebrate the other guys. And that we really have to watch where we put our feet when we get off up on our feet, when we cheer for them and stuff like that. It kind of sucks, but I understand why they're doing it. But it's also like very interesting, that kind of thing. They really do celebrate each other's accomplishments. So we have to think more like them. And the fans that kind of think, whoa, he's not getting enough minutes. Oh, he's not doing enough scoring. Well, that's not the way they're thinking. It's there. They can go and take it when they want it and stuff like that. It's really, really, really good. Alistair says we're 13 deep, and I agree. We may be even deeper than 13. Tony Wiley, good to see a new name. Tomorrow, 9:30 a.m., trivia. So join us. I'm live every morning, 9:30 a.m. Tony's saying, I can see the Raptors finishing at the 6th seed. Team is overrated. Fuck that. No, that's not Raptor thinking, Raptor freak thinking, Tony Wiley. I'm sorry. That's an L first comment. I'm sorry. We're not overrated. In fact, you know, they're underrating us in the mainstream media right now. They don't want to say exactly who we are because they are scared. They want to hope that we're going to be overrated and we're not going to be as good as we are going to be. But the reality is going to hit, and we are going to be very good. And no, we're not a 6th seed. We're going to be number 1 this year. That is my prediction for this year. And we'll see who's right by the end of the year. I got a timestamp. I'll put this up. I'm not going to erase this 3 months into the season. This will be up here the whole season. So let's circle back in April, and let's see where we are. Are we closer to 6 or are we closer to 1? I'll take my bet over every single time. I don't give a shit what somebody said on Confederacy of Dunks the week after I was on there. I think it was Christy. He said, oh, I wouldn't take the over on the Raptors right now. People are overestimating. Fuck that. Take the over, because we're going to do it. We're going to make it. We're going to do it all that. Yeah. Let's see. And David's saying, yeah, right. And Embiid is an MVP. All right. See, I like David's retort there. That's pretty right. Monique saying, does anyone remember how bad we were opening night in the past? We were so ready to kill the Cavs. Yeah. And that was something they discussed yesterday too, is energy is different in preseason. Preseason. Regular season is a totally different thing. And we've seen that. Last year when we played the Wizards on opening night, we did not have regular season energy. And they showed it us now. And we don't want to do that. In fact, that lesson from last year is really much branded into Scottie Barnes' head. He has a ball behind him in his condo when he plays on Twitch that commemorates his first ever NBA game. And when he gets it and he looks at it, he has to see that they lost that game to Washington. That he remembers this and he looks at that and he says, I don't like this. I don't like that I lost my first NBA game that I ever played in to the Washington Wizards last season on opening night. He hates that, in fact. He really hates it. I mean, I've heard him talk about it looking at the ball. He's like, I hate that we lost this game. And he puts the ball up. You think he's going to try and win this game on Wednesday against the Cavs and really want to win? We want to win? Yes, he's going to, because he remembers that sting of losing his first NBA game and how much he hated that. He hated that so much. Like, seriously, it's crazy, the stuff that you learn when you watch Scottie on Twitch about his personality and who he is. He really hated losing that game against Washington. Cool Cat saying both Fred VanVleet and Pascal's extension deadline is October 17th. I think they play out their contract to see where we are. Then they set up with Scottie's extension and everyone around it. You know, they're not going to take their extension now. The deadline's going to end tonight, and there's all signs are saying that they're just going to play. But there's still all kinds of flexibility and options with when they do the extension. They don't have to do it now. They could do it at the end of the season. And there's all kinds of other years on their contracts. So this isn't like a dire thing that we have to get done today. In some ways, it's in their better interests of them, their players, that they don't sign now, that they can get more money down the road. And Pascal in particular. So, this is the thing. It's very calculated, and it may be like it's a good thing for both the players and the team that they don't do the extension today. So nothing's going to happen. This is everything that everybody's saying right now is that don't expect any extension signed for Pascal and Fred today. And the deadline's going to run out, and then we'll see how things go next summer. We'll start figuring that stuff then and stuff like that. Let's see. Duke Rocks is saying Nurse also mentioned he trusts and has more confidence in the bench this year, referring to Banton, Champagny, and even Koloko. He sounds happy about the bench. Yeah, I wouldn't even reference those three young guys. I mean, Koloko and Banton, sure. But Porter, Thad Young, Boucher and Achua are really bench guys, but they're actually kind of like pseudo starters too. Kem Birch, we can't discount him as far as what he contributes and the important things he does for our team also. So, yeah, I mean, I would be way more confident with this cast of crew than the one last year and stuff like that. No slight to Yuta and those guys. I love Yuta, but they weren't that good of a bench. They really weren't. And this is going to be a way better bench this season. Way, way better bench. Duke Rocks is saying Nurse also I read that one. Duke is saying also compared where they were last season, start of the season versus this season, and feels way more confident about this squad versus last year. He sees so much improvement for this year. Yeah, Nick has said this. Fred has said this. And Fred is very critical of this team. And he's a realist. He's not going to say some bullshit like me and just say, I'm very optimistic. He's very realistic about things. And Fred last year was saying, well, if we're young and we got to kind of figure things out. So don't expect much. I'm kind of tempering my expectations last year is what he was saying at this time. Because we're young, we got to figure things out. Well, he was very happy with how it went last year and how much they figured things out quickly. So this year, he's not saying the same damn thing. He's saying he's trying to win a championship this year, that he really does think it's a realistic expectation and that he's not fucking around this season to fucking just play in the NBA. He wants to win a championship. You think he's just playing to play? He fucking wants to win. That is his main motivation in this whole entire world is to win NBA championships. People need to realize who Fred VanVleet is. And he's not fucking around. He wants to win. And he feels more confident about them winning this year than last year, just like Nick Nurse does. They both feel real good about this team. And I would trust Nick Nurse's opinion about this team or Fred VanVleet's opinion of this team in a realistic way much more than any idiot on ESPN, any idiot on TSN. Anybody who doesn't think, these guys are on the ground and in the middle of it. And they see a difference. Their tune is different than last year at this time. It's very, very different. And people got to realize that and stuff like that. All right, let's see. Tony's saying the East is stacked. Raptors have a decent core, but for them to really make that next step, Scottie's got to make a big leap this year. I agree with this, Tony. I think you're right with this. That Scottie does need to step up and be good, but he doesn't have to carry that all completely on his really wide, broad shoulders. The Precious will carry a little bit of it. That Delano will carry a little bit of it. that Gary Trent Jr. will carry a little bit of it, that Christian Koloko will carry a little bit of that aggregate improvement overall across the whole team. In fact, Pascal Siakam's going to be better than he was last year. It's just how he does things. Every year he comes back better. And they're saying it's happened again this year. So we should fully expect Pascal to be even more overpowering and more consistent this year as the number one option on our team. So it's like Scottie is very much easy figurehead to see, yeah, this guy's going to make a leap. But all these guys are going to make a leap together. And how does that translate from where we finished last season with our record? Being healthy going into the season, being more gelled and familiar with each other. These guys know each other now. Precious didn't know each other. They didn't know each other very well coming in because he just got traded. They know each other now. So there's all kinds of X factors that you have to add on to things. Continuity is actually a really good thing to have in an NBA team year to year because you carry over so much of the culture and the things you learned from the year before. That when these teams switch like 6 or 7 players out of their roster every single offseason, they have to go and kind of reset things and relearn things all over again. We don't have to do that this year. We retain like 14 of our guys. That's like our whole team from last year. And then we just added even better players on the edges like Otto and Wancho. You tell me what you think we're going to do this season. Seriously. Look at what we did last year and how everybody doubted us and where we ended up 5th. And look what we're going to do this year. We're going to improve on that. That's why I say the sky's the limit. Don't limit yourself. Shoot for the moon. Be number one. That's the way I just look at it. But yeah, we have a good core. We have a very good core. And that's a great thing. It's like Gary said it in his interview yesterday. He said, we have a bunch of different guys that could average 20 points per game. We know this. In fact, we had 5 starters that averaged over 15 points per game. It's all very equal and stuff like that. So it's going to be fun. And I am so positive about them. I have such good feelings about them this season. I think that this is a championship shirt that Evelyn gave me for 2019. We're going to get another championship shirt a lot sooner than some of the Raptor fans realize right now. This season's actually kind of wide open. The king of the East is fucked up because of their coach. The Boston Celtics, the king of the East, the team that got to the finals. It's wide open. Any team can come up and take the number one position in the East. Sure, it's tough in some ways, but it's also easier in some ways because it is the Victor Tank season. There's going to be a lot of teams that aren't going to be competing on purpose, partly because of this Victor. So the Victor effect is going to be a part of this year in all kinds of different ways. And it may help open a more clear path for the teams that are really serious about winning championships and they're not faltering on it. Some of the Celtics people are like, man, we should just tank for Victor now at this point. You're fucking crazy. Y'all are in the finals. Have some dignity. I said that again. CC saying, all right, good to see CC. Raptor Freak CC's always good to see. The Raptor Show with Will Lou is on at 2 to 3 p.m. on Sportsnet 360, guys. Okay, so they're on at 2. So look for a Nick Nurse interview with Will Lou at 2 o'clock today. Yeah, there you go. Seymour saying, only person I listen to about ball, Raptors Freak. Awesome, Seymour. I love that. I appreciate you, Seymour. And that's why you got the wrench. Leslie saying, Raptors are a straight up blue collar team. Climb the ladder through hard work, old school work ethic. We do things right. We really do. And that's the thing that's different than us. Like this game against the Celtics in Montreal, they killed us for threes in the beginning of the game, but we just stuck to what we do. And even though we looked ugly with our offense and stuff we just stuck to what we do. And in the end, that depth and that energy wins out in a win game for us. Just on itself, we could shoot the bed with the shooting the way we shoot, and we can still win games just because we overwork and just out rebound and just get so many turnovers and deflections. It's insane. That's what I'm saying. There's something weird about the way we win games that is different and kind of a little on the down low overpowering compared to how other teams have to try and go about and win their games and stuff like that. There's something a little bit more fundamental and consistent about how we win our games, the MO, the modus operandi that we do for how we win our games is very, very, very intriguing. And it's not like any other team in the history of the NBA. I'm going to tell you right now, there's teams that may be similar, like an old Detroit Pistons team or something like that. There's nothing exactly like what the Raptors are right now, as far as 6'9" vision and stifling full court press, just constant pressure That's what Pascal said yesterday. He's like, I'm going to be playing so much, and we just pressures. We're just running around all over the place, pressuring them left and right. Nobody played like this. First of all, what team was crazy enough to be exerting this much and be like, there usually some players that are lazy on the team, and they'll be like, coach, I'm not going to run a full court all day. I'm not going to fucking switch like this and run all out. Usually the coach can't motivate the team to do that. You think Steve Clifford could get the Hornets to do this? Fuck no, he can't get them to do that. They're gonna be like, yeah, coach, we'll do that. No, it's a special case. And when you have the players so bought into your system that they're willing to run themselves ragged to make the team work the way that the coach wants for his vision. Usually there's some player who's like, I really don't want to do this. And he's a superstar. How often is it when the superstars, the top players on the team are the leaders, they say, this is how we set the standard, and all of you guys underneath us, you have to do exactly the same as us. Because usually there's somebody at the top that's got it easy. They got a bag. They're already comfortably living. Why do they have to work any harder? That's what I'm saying. That's why what the Raptors have is very, very special. And it may not be something that you've ever had at the level of the NBA. In basketball, sure, you could have it in college. You can get those kids to buy into it and pull their asses off like the Raptors are doing. But in the NBA, this has never happened before. So we need to realize how special that makeup and that identity that we have this year is, or we had last year too, and stuff like that. So really crazy, that blue collar, old school work ethic. Yes, Leslie, and speak the gospel. Alistair saying Otto Porter's been said we're good enough to win it all, and he's a champion. That's right. Who are the experts on the NBA? Is it some idiots who sit on TV like Skip Bayless? No. Is it some hockey heads? They're moonlighting as basketball people on TSN. Do they know? No. Otto Porter Jr. knows. Fred VanVleet knows. Nick Nurse knows. I'll bet you other players on other teams like Jaylen Brown know. Like, yeah, the Raptors are a serious team, and they could win the championship. You go ask Jaylen Brown if he thinks the Raptors are good enough to win a championship. What do you think Jaylen Brown would say? I don't think he'd slight us. I just say, OG's one of my friends, and he's really good, and I hate playing the Raptors. When we play the Raptors, it's not fun. That's probably what you'd hear Jaylen Brown say. And he'd probably tell you straight up, yeah, the Raptors could win a championship. So you think a Boston Celtic would say that if he didn't believe it? I bet you he would say we could win a championship. Logical saying, Pape, Seymour, Nick Nurse interview is going to happen today. Awesome. That's awesome. Yep. Broadcasting note. Duke saying, after hearing Nurse, I feel more confident in my prediction the Raps can make a run for first in the East. And that's not being a homer. There's scientific evidence. There's real information that you can go and point to and look at that will tell you this. Last season, in the second half of the season, the Boston Celtics and the Raptors had very identical winning percentages for the end of the year. And meanwhile, everybody's tooting their horn like, oh, Celtics are so good. So they didn't say that shit about us, even though we did just as well as them with our record. We had some crazy win streaks. They just don't shine a light on us. So don't be a fan that doesn't believe just because the media hype isn't there behind us. It's real. And we're going to shock people. You can either be with us and be awake and understand what's happening, or you can get shocked with the rest of everybody else. It's your choice. It's your choice. You want to believe with us and come with us and see it and be like, yeah, we believe. We were real ones all along. We knew they could do this. Or you want to get woken up one day and be like, damn, Raptor Freak was right. I should have believed in the Raptors the whole damn time. It's your choice. It's your choice. And if I'm wrong, I'll stand on this hill and be wrong. That's fine. But I don't think I'm going to be. I would guarantee they'll be having home court advantage in the playoffs at the end of the year, if not being number one. They will be a top 4 team. I say 4 is the floor. The ceiling is number 1. The floor is 4. Some people say, oh, their ceiling is 4. Their floor is like 7 or something like that. Fuck that. Our floor is 4. We're getting home court advantage in the first round this year. Oh, yeah, we are. Oh, yeah. All right, let's keep going. Alistair says it's between us and Boston, watch. Yeah, that could very well be. I'm downgrading Boston just because of the dumpster fire they've got going and stuff like that. Monique saying, of course Otto believes it. Alistair, stop. Well, he wouldn't have came here. He would have just stayed in Golden State. If he wants to win more championships, he wouldn't have came to Toronto, Otto Porter Jr., if he thought he'd be wasting his time. He's not going to win anything here. He came here because he knows. It's like Thad Young knows. How many years has he been in the league? 17 years. You can't tell when a good team has got a good vibe and stuff. Like, this man's been in the league for 17 years. How many different teams has he been on? He's so happy on this team. He knows this is the creme de la creme, best organization in the league. You go ask that young, which team in the NBA have you played for that you like and it was the most professional? He'd say Toronto Raptors in a heartbeat. That's what I'm saying. We got to really understand who we are and be proud of it and not be afraid to stand up and say, we're really good and we are going to be very good and believe in it. This is the biggest fight in the preseason before the season starts is how many negative Raptor fans are just downgrading us. That is not necessary. Let's see what we can do before you really start getting critical about us because this is wide open. The expectations can be whatever, wherever on the map. And none of us are right yet, but let's see who's more right as the season goes on. Oh, yeah. Let's see. Seymour saying, I need one of those coaching staff shirts this season where I can buy one. Let's go Raptors. Seymour, I want you to get one of those coaching staff shirts and go to the game and like sit near the bench. And maybe they'll be like, oh, this is one of the new assistant coaches. And all of a sudden, boom, Seymour's got a coaching job in the NBA just by showing up with the shirt. That's amazing. Thumbs up the Logical Raptors Fanatic. That's right. Follow Logical Raptors Fanatic. I love it. Tony's saying, hey, keep up the great work on your podcast. I can see great things happening for you. You're a cool dude, my brother. Thanks, Tony. I really appreciate that, man. And I don't want you to think that like I don't like you or anything just because your first comment. It's just we have a real positive vibe here. You know, the Raptors fan spaces and content that gets made can be so negative about them. And I'm like, why? So I kind of wanted to be that yin to the yang. You know what I'm saying? That like, we want to believe in the most beautiful, positive things coming to Toronto as far as Larry O'Brien's for the Raptors. And we are a part of this part of the fan nation that is super, super positive and only just talking about the best things happening for us. Because I believe that you kind of do, like they say, if you're on an icy road and you're in a car and you lose control of the car all of a sudden because of the ice, if you look at the ditch, you'll go to the ditch. You'll slide right to the ditch. But if you look down the middle of the road, the car will continue to safely go down the middle of the road. It's really where you put your attention, where you put your focus. You'll go to in life. This is what this isn't just a Raptors channel. This is a channel to help people live a more positive thinking life. That, if you think about the ditch, oh, we're going to go to the ditch. You'll go to the ditch. But if you think about staying on the road, you'll stay on that road. So that's what I'm saying. Put your focus on good things happening for the Raptors, and who knows what will happen and be created and great things and stuff like that. This really is about winning more here and get into more championships. That is the only thing we care about on this channel and stuff like that. We're not playing for second. We're not playing to like just play in the NBA. We are all about winning. We're cutthroat. And this is the way other franchises have been in the past when they've been very good. And we are very good. Do not sell us short. We are very good. And I appreciate your subscription, Tony. And I hope you'll join us more often. Every day, like I said, I have a consecutive streak of being on live every single day for 400 days tomorrow. Yeah, I did it. I've done it for over a year. So you can count on my channel every single day. If you want to talk Raptors, you want to come in and say what you want to say about what you feel about what's going on with the team, I'll be here every morning and we can talk about it in a really intelligent, fair way and stuff like that. So I appreciate you, man. I appreciate your nice comment. Who knows what's going to happen here? This is really, I'm doing exactly what I want to do with this. This isn't about blowing up. This isn't about any of this. This is for a very specific kind of Raptor fan. And I hope more and more of us, birds of a feather, that really feel positive about the team, find each other and stuff like that. All right, let's see what Cool Cat's saying after that. Folks get confused. We play team ball to win as opposed to a one superstar lead team. Yeah, this has been a big part of like the NBA since 2000 to like very recently, the Superstar League. Everybody thought you have to have a figurehead LeBron to do anything in this league. Well, that's not the case. The very early part of the NBA is a team sport, and it is really playing off each other. It became so individualistically focused that a lot of fans are very much in the superstar mode. Well, I don't believe that you have to have superstars to win a championship. I think you can have very good stars and like 5 or 6 of them, and you can win a championship. In fact, that may be smarter because not all your eggs are in the same basket. That if you can have diversified people that you can go to to help you win games, that may be even more stronger, especially if you have injuries. You have different things that happen to a team over the season. Giannis misses a month for the Bucks. That really hurts them. That's what I'm saying. It's stuff like that I look at and stuff like that. So Click saying Hornets are a shit show, laughing my ass off. All right, let me go further with the countdown. Last one. All right, let me recap what I've done so far. Toronto number 1, Philly number 2, Milwaukee number 3, Boston number 4, Miami number 5, and my number 6 pick for the last playoff spot is the Chicago Bulls. Now, some people will be like, what? Chicago Bulls over Atlanta, over Cleveland, over Brooklyn? Yeah, because they've got more of the pieces right on their team. They actually have a lot of good pieces on their team between Vucevic, DeRozan, Caruso. Lonzo Ball comes back, Zach LaVine. They have a good team. They kind of sputtered in the middle of the season last year when Caruso got hurt, and it really ruined their momentum. They had good momentum before that. And Billy Donovan's a very, very good coach. Don't count him out. He is a super good coach. He is a lot along lines of Eric Spoelstra, Steve Kerr, and Nick Nurse. And the way they played us in the preseason at the game that we went to last Sunday, he has got them running at an optimal level coming into the season. They're all shooting very well from all 3 categories. Their field goal percentage, their 3-point percentage, and their free throw percentage is impeccable right now. The DeMar DeRozan's already scoring a point a minute right now in the preseason, and he looks in top form. So I expect the Bulls to shock some people in some ways, even though they've already been a really solid team last year. It's just they faltered near the end of the season and kind of finished on a dud. I think they're going to earn a full playoff spot this year, and that they're going to look way better this year in some ways, just because their nucleus has had more time, just like our nucleus. DeMar is in his second year there. He's going to get to play more with Zach LaVine. He's going to get to play more with the different Bulls. And I think Ayo's going to have a leap. And they have some really good young players on that team, like Green and Patrick Williams and stuff like that. So Chicago, number 6. And maybe I'm showing a little bit of my favoritism for the Groats, Kyle Lowry and DeMar DeRozan, by putting Miami and Chicago in the 5th and 6th spot. But they are good teams, and people are going to sleep on Chicago similar to how they sleep on us this year. They're going to be a lot better than people think and stuff like that. All right, going into the play-in teams, I've got number 7 as Brooklyn. I have to recognize the talent accumulation as far as just having Kevin and stuff, and they'll fuck around and they'll have problems with their team, but they're going to win still some games just purely on Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving's presence being out there. Notice I didn't say Ben Simmons, because in some ways he's going to hurt them for sure this year. And they don't have a very good bench. They don't have a lot of things that a good team needs. Plus, they don't have trust. That may be the most important thing. And that's why I won't pencil them in as being a top Eastern team, because they're going to have problems. There's a problem with Kevin Durant, very much so. There's a problem with Kyrie Irving, very much so. Kevin doesn't trust Steve Nash. As soon as things don't go right, he's going to be like, Steve Nash sucks. I want him fired, just like he did this past summer. So Brooklyn, do not expect your team to be magically fixed. You can go on a PR tour and show them at dinner, having a good time and laughing. That don't mean jack shit. Your team's all fucked up. And 7th is actually maybe a little high for where you may actually finish. You're going to be a play-in team again, and it could be funny. It could be very similar. You guys make the play-in, and then you're going to be like the 7th seed or something like that against the Sixers, at least in my scenario and stuff like that. That's the way it looks like to me. So Brooklyn, number 7. I won't slide them any further, though. And some people may be upset that I put them at 7. Atlanta, number 8. Now, I believe in Atlanta a little bit more than Cleveland, because they're kind of similar teams right now to me. They got big acquisitions in the offseason, Donovan Mitchell, DeJounte Murray. But once again, when you get a new player of that scale on your team, it doesn't always just mean, oh, they're going to be better this year. That could mean they could be worse. And that's things that people in Atlanta and Cleveland aren't realizing, that you bring in such a huge focal point to your offense that's different. It switches things around and maybe changes some of the good things you were doing last year. Kevin Huerter is a player that was actually really good for Atlanta. He was one of their best shooters. He's not on their team anymore. He's gone. And that's what I'm saying. They've had some switching in and out. And we don't know if the new recipe for the Atlanta Hawks or the Cleveland Cavaliers is actually going to be better than they were last year. So I'm putting Atlanta at 8th. I actually have more faith in them in certain ways. They have Capella, and they have Trey Young, and they have a couple of other players that are actually really good, and they're on the rise as a franchise. But I don't know, DeJounte is the right player to play with Trey Young in the backcourt. There's going to be a very little backcourt, similar to Cleveland. They're going to have very small backcourts. And there may be some bully ball that's going to happen to them when they play the Raptors in particular. And they may look really bad in certain ways because of that. They may be looking like little babies that we can just feed baby food like Scottie Barnes likes to do, beating them down in the low post with very overpowering bully ball moves and stuff like that. So Atlanta number 8, I think they'll be in the play-in. And that, they're a good team. They're going to be, I don't know. I have more faith in them than Cleveland. I really do. Number 9, I have Detroit, guys. Yeah, I'm bringing Detroit up into the play-in. I don't think they're not. I think they're going to make the play-in this year. I think they're going to be better than Detroit. Detroit's going to be better than Cleveland. And I've made that prediction this summer, and people think I'm crazy. You think Detroit's going to be better than Cleveland? Yeah, I do. Because Kate Cunningham is a very special player. They have a lot of good young talent. I've talked about this summer, Dwayne Casey's path to getting a team into the playoffs. It's very similar to what he did with our team here. Is the first couple of years they didn't make the playoffs, and then they broke through into a new level. And that's what's going to happen with them this year. That Casey is going to get some traction on what he's building in Detroit, and they're going to go to a new level this year. Beef Stew, Sadiq Bey, all these guys with Jaden Ivey showing up, they're going to be a better team this year. And they're going to build off of it. They're similar to us. They play a similar kind of style to us, very physical, defensive, rebounding kind of team. And that is part of the reason why they play us so well and we lose to them, is they play us at our own game and they beat us. But this is the thing. It's going to come through finally this year that what they've been doing with Casey since he's been coaching there, he's going to have a breakthrough, just like he had here, where he brings the team into being a playoff team now. And I think it's going to happen this year. And I put them at 9th and Cleveland at 10th. Cleveland will be the last play-in team and stuff like that. So usually your 3 play-in teams: Brooklyn, Atlanta, Detroit, and Cleveland. And yeah, I may be ranking Detroit a little high, but I believe in them. I really do. I think they're going to be way better this year than they were last year in some ways. But you know what? On the weirdness, I think that we're going to beat them, though. That's going to be the weird thing. They're going to be better this year, but the Raptors will actually beat them this year, unlike last year. So, all right. And then we'll just do the teams that are out of it. Orlando will be the next team, or 11th, just missing the play-in. They're going to be better, but they're still very young, and they're not. I don't like their coach, and I think that they've got different problems down there. And I don't know if they're not going to be in the play-in, but I think they'll be the best out of the shitty teams that don't. Washington's really intriguing. Like, they could be in the play-in. Actually, I may have ranked them low. Porzingis with Beal and some of the things that are happening there in the preseason are very intriguing, but we cannot discount or underestimate Washington's ability to fuck up their season and just look mediocre and shitty by the end of the season. We cannot discount this. They will find a way. It's just how they are. It's just that franchise and stuff like that. There's problems with that franchise still. So I don't think they'll make the play-in. New York next at number 13. Obviously, New York is New York. We can just say that. That's all we need to say is New York is New York. I don't know. I mean, RJ Barrett's awesome. I love him. I don't think Jalen Brunson's that great of an acquisition. I think people that think that Jalen Brunson is going to be such a savior or anything, that you're crazy. You should have believed more in Kemba Walker than Jalen Brunson when you guys got him. And we see where Kemba Walker went with you guys. So that's what I'm saying. I don't think Jalen Brunson, I think he's going to be a bust in New York. And then New York's just going to be New York like they normally do. Indiana is tanking for Victor. And I do think that they'll be one of the worst teams in the East, but they won't be the absolute worst team. It will be Charlotte. Charlotte is going to be really bad this year, guys. Steve Clifford coaching them is going to be awful. And Indiana has some really nice young stars. I mean, with Halliburton there and Mathurin and Buddy Hield, people like that, they have a very nice team in Atlanta and in Indiana that will be able to win a bit more games than Charlotte. Charlotte's going to have a real hard time. They're going to lose a lot this year. And they may be on the down low in the Victor sweepstakes just because of that. That'd be weird. LaMelo and Victor on the same team. Ugh, I don't think I'd like that. We really want him to go to the Spurs and stuff like that. So, Click, you're right. The Hornets are a shit show. I have them very last in my Eastern Conference prediction. So, just a quick run through the whole thing. Toronto, number 1. Philly, number 2. Milwaukee, 3. Boston, 4. Miami, 5th. Chicago 6th, Brooklyn 7th, Atlanta 8th, Detroit 9th, Cleveland 10th, Orlando 11th, Washington 12th, 13th, New York, 14th, Indiana, and 15th, the Charlotte Hornets. Now, some people would be like, you're fucking sewering Cleveland Cavaliers and putting them way too low for where they should be. Oh my gosh, they have Evan Mobley. They have Darius Garland. They have all, I don't fucking give a shit about all that. And in fact, some of what I'm doing to the Cavs is exactly what they do to us. I don't believe in them. Who the fuck are they? They have Tower City. They lost one of their best towers, Lowry Markkanen, this summer. There is no guarantee that the Cleveland Cavaliers will be better than they were last year just because Donovan Mitchell showed up. That motherfucker is casual. He wanted to go to New York. You think he wanted to be in Cleveland? No, he did not. He was disappointed that he ended up in Cleveland, that Danny Ainge hates him. And he wanted to piss him off and say, no, you're not going to get to go home. We're not going to put you on New York. We're going to put you in Cleveland. So it's like hot in Cleveland. It's just like that show with Betty White. It's like he's hot in Cleveland. Who cares? He's not that committed. He's so casual. In fact, that's why Utah traded him. Him and Gobert are casuals. They don't give a shit as much as Fred VanVleet and Pascal Siakam. There's levels to desire. And Donovan Mitchell is a casual. He does not care as much as somebody like Fred VanVleet. And that's why he's never going to win in the NBA. So that's what I'm going to say right now about Donovan Mitchell on the Cavs. The dude's a casual. He doesn't have it in his heart. He's skilled. He's a very talented, good player, but he has missing a certain thing that I'm talking about. Is the difference between Vince Carter and Kawhi Leonard. Let's just put it that way. So I have no faith in the Cleveland Cavaliers. They're going to lose. And, Gobert's going to look more important to Utah and being next to Donovan Mitchell from being in the Utah days. In some ways. That's what I'm going to say right now about Cleveland. There's some Toronto fans that are really big on Cleveland. Oh, they think Cleveland's going to be so good. I don't believe that. I really don't. I think Cleveland, once again, like Washington, is a team that's real good at fucking things up and getting all dysfunctional all of a sudden, stuff like that. So Alistair's saying Otto will be the difference maker to us winning. He will tip us over the iceberg like Kawhi had done. Not in the same way, but he's definitely going to help. The thing I love about Otto is he's going to be just somebody who can get a bucket. There was so many times last season we were just crying out, one of you guys that are off the bench, we just need somebody to score. Any of you. Well, Otto will be able to do this no matter what. He's going to be able to get us buckets no matter what. And that's the thing that's going to be very valuable about him. We get in an offensive drought. Well, let's bring Otto into the game. And boom, all of a sudden, he's working to get his shot open with veteran guile and skills. And then boom, all of a sudden, our anemic offensive woes are cured by Dr. Otto Porter Jr., who has just come out and administered his technique to get the score and get the point and stuff like that. Kareem's saying Toronto Raptors are projected to all peak players-wise this year. Eastern Conference teams are scared and Raptors fear nobody. I mean, I don't really fear anybody in the league. I mean, I fear Philadelphia to a degree. I have to respect Boston just because they're a very dangerous team in different ways. I have to respect Milwaukee, but I really don't fear the Cleveland Cavaliers. I don't fear the Atlanta Hawks. I should fear the Detroit Pistons, and that's really just because of his history. But, that's the thing. Yeah, who are we fucking afraid of? We can match up, and as Nick Nurse puts it, see eye to eye with any team in this league. That we have the height across the board, and we're going to bully people and stuff like that. I love that, Kareem. I love what you said. Leslie saying, I'm not sold on first place, but and I'm not sold on first picks. Who was the last first pick that won everything and all the awards? You're talking about being in first place? As far as I know the year we finished first in the East, we didn't do well in the playoffs. It's kind of like, yeah, do you really want to go all the way and be number one? Well, in some ways you do, because it was very helpful the year we won the championship that we were near the top. We got home court advantage in the finals against the Golden State Warriors. So I kind of do want to have a good record this year because the home court advantage really could come in handy in the playoffs and deep levels. If we're one of the top 3 teams in the league with a record, that is very good because that'll mean we have home court in most series in the playoffs. So I do think that is valuable. Some people say, oh, it doesn't matter, just get in there. Well, seeding and having home court can be very important. And if we can do it that way all season and make it work to have more advantages in the playoffs, we'll do that. They will do that for sure and stuff like that. Let's see. Tony's saying, I'm a Heat fan, But I love everything about this team. They work hard. Um, they have gritty players and they play the game the right way. Thanks, Tony. We appreciate that, especially coming from a Heat fan, because that is very much a part of y'all's culture too. And that, yeah, I respect y'all's organization a lot. You guys are very similar to us. I think that there's 3 teams in the league that are very much very well run at different levels, all kinds of places: Miami, Golden State, and Toronto. These are the 3 of the best franchises in the whole entire league. Very much respect Eric Spoelstra. I think that he's one of the best coaches in the league, and he shows respect to Nick Nurse also in return. So yeah, you know what? The only thing with you guys is I worry about your size this year. Like, I don't know who you guys are going to be playing next to Bam to protect him in some ways. Like, you guys are undersized to a degree. And maybe you have a young player I don't know about that's capable and he's going to come in and do good minutes for y'all. But the loss of PJ Tucker and the Morris brother is going to hurt for you guys as far as toughness. And that's what I worry about with you guys. That's the reason why I put you guys in 5th. I would put you guys higher I felt confident with your size. I feel like you guys are undersized this year, and that we've all beefed up to a degree. I know we have. I know Philly has, and that is going to be something that's going to be a little different this year and stuff like that. But I love y'all's culture in a lot of ways. You guys have a really, really good franchise that has been doing things the right way for a long time and stuff like that. And I love Kyle. I always love Kyle. And I know he's a little acrimonious in your fan base right now. Some people are Kyle people and some people are not Kyle people. That's for sure. But I appreciate you being here. And, we have different fans of other nations that come in here regularly. So don't feel scared, or feel free to come in and join us anytime. We have Random Gamer. He's a Philly fan. We have some Boston fans that come and interact with us also. It'd be nice to have a regular Heat fan also. Somebody who's actually, like, part of the problem is a lot of the Heat fans are very cocky and talk a lot of shit. So when we have kind of a polite one, the one that's willing to talk with us in a general way like this, I value that very much. So I appreciate you being here as a Heat fan, seriously. Because this is a Raptors channel for sure. And we are very oriented from our perspective. But also, I know as a smart fan of another team, you probably want to know the inside stuff about us. Well, this is the place where we lay it out. And maybe I do hurt the team in a little bit of ways by letting you guys know some of the stuff. But if you really want to know what's happening with the Raptors, this is the channel to subscribe to, because it's on a very daily level. Like, I am keeping up with everything. Like, I know what they were doing last night. Precious was DJing. And OG was like watching them and stuff. It was crazy. They were having fun last night. They had a little get together, like before the season get together, and there was just nice food and a nice dining hall, and they're all wearing nice clothes. And yeah, you could tell that they're just building that team chemistry by having a function or having some sort of event. They're all together. Lolita's saying, I saw Scottie's face when Danny Green was presented with his ring. I felt that Scottie, with a smile on his face, saying, I will get one of those myself. Laugh out loud. I loved that we did the Danny Green ring ceremony so late, that the pandemic pushed it so far back, that him getting traded so much and being all over the place. He got his Laker ring way before he got his Raptor championship ring. And the fact that it happened last season in front of Scottie Barnes was really special. I love that too, Lolita, because that's the kind of moment that gets etched into his head and says, I want that. I want to see what Danny did. I have his jacket. I have his championship jacket, but I want to get my own ring. And it's really special for him to see that kind of ceremony from our championship in 2019 held over a couple years later, because Danny Green just never came back. And then the other moment last season that I thought was really special was that Heat game when Kyle Lowry came back. I was at that game. I got COVID at that game, actually. I hadn't got COVID the whole pandemic. I go to the Kyle Lowry return game, I get COVID. But it was worth it. But yeah, the way that Kyle was embraced and loved by our team, our fans in the building when he returned in that game in April, was really special. And that was another moment that I'm glad Scottie got to see, because he gets to see that, like, look, you love our city. We love you. Let's keep this relationship real good, because we treat this man like a god, Kyle Lowry. We named a road after him in our city. And you can have that too, Scottie. You can have that ring that Danny has. You can have that adoration and adulation of Kyle Lowry like he has. Those are what you want. You can go get them and stuff like that. You guys kicked our ass that night, Miami, and it was really a con job by Kyle. He came in and he charmed us. He came and he said, I love Toronto. I love everybody. I miss everybody. He was the belle of the ball. We talked to him. And meanwhile, he came in and he stole the game from us and got y'all a win. That is classic Kyle Lowry. That is so him. He charmed the hell out of us and got himself a win by the time he left. Oh man, Kyle. I can't hate that. I really can't. So yeah, all right. Duke saying 400 days. Crazy. Congrats, Lex. Thanks, Duke. Tomorrow, 400 stream in a row, 400 days in a row. I'm gonna keep going. I want to get this streak up into the 5 digits, into the 6 digits. When I get to my 100,000 stream, guys, yeah, in like 10 years from now. I'm serious. I'm in for the long haul. I am. 400 days straight. Yeah, bam, bam, bam. That's right, Seymour Paving. Y'all are a big part of it. And here's Greg. Jubstown Clink is here. So good to see you, Greg. I missed you, man. I missed you. Good morning, freaks. Just getting here. Hope everyone is well. Good to see you, Greg. And I'm always looking forward to seeing when you're dropping your new stuff and stuff like that. And still looking forward to coming to a game with you in November, 9:05. Greg's got the table at the end of the court. And we're going to go to a Raptors 9:05 game on Veterans Day. Yeah, Memorial. What is it? Remembrance Day. That's what they call it up here. I got to say the right one. I'm not in the States. Salute the Jub. Salute the logical. Salute Raptors content makers. Monique saying year number 14 for Demar Derozan. Man, Demar's been making such amazing content lately on his Comp 10 channel. His latest episode is about his relationship with Kobe Bryant. And he talks so much about how he had such an effect on him, and the first times he encountered him, the times that how he became his mentor, and how he everything about their relationship is in it. So I really love the series that Demar's doing this summer about the things like his dad and Kobe and the Drew League and stuff like that. So check out Demar's YouTube channel. Some really cool content on there. Even though he's a Bull, he's still a Raptor in some ways, and we love and support DeMar no matter what. Leslie's saying, hey, Lex, have you looked at our schedule? Lots of back-to-backs against the same team. I like these little series. In fact, we're going to go get one with Miami this weekend. We'll go on a back-to-back Friday night against Brooklyn in Brooklyn. Then we travel right on down to South Beach to play the Heat on Saturday. And I kind of don't like this back-to-back, partly because this means the Raptors are going to get a Saturday and a Sunday night in Miami without travel. And I hate that kind of shit. I want these guys to be very focused. And not, I know they're going to go out. Some of them are going to go out and they're going to do things. And Miami is a little bit of a pitfall for this. Toronto can be this way too. Visiting teams come up to Toronto and there's a nightlife and there's some things that are fun to do. And, that could be a problem. I'm going to talk about this more as we get closer, that the Raptors are hanging around in Miami for 2 days because of a 2-game series. Now, it'll be good for Scottie because he'll be home. And he can spend a lot of time with his family and stuff. And he's not interested in going to the strips and stuff like that. He doesn't give a shit about South Beach. He doesn't give a shit about bars. In fact, somebody said to him in Twitch this summer, I saw you at a club this summer, Scottie, in downtown Toronto. And Scottie said, and you saw the comment, he said, nope, no, you didn't. Because he does not go out. First of all, he doesn't drink, and he's not interested in that kind of lifestyle. He is very focused on being a professional, and he doesn't want any dumpster fires in his life. So he doesn't even allow them to happen. This is part of the reason why he's on Twitch with us, because he wants to feel connection without having to go out and be around everybody and stuff like that. So I don't worry about Scottie for this, but I do worry about people like Gary and Precious and different people like that, possibly, or the young guys being in Miami for a couple nights and stuff like that. I like the matchups. Now, the reason why they don't do these back-to-back games, the same team in the same place, is because it's not as interesting to people to buy the ticket. So like, oh, well, it's like a concert. Like Barbara Streisand comes. She's playing 3 nights in a row. Well, they can sell out all those nights, but maybe it's not as interesting to see the Philadelphia 76ers 2 nights in a row at Scotiabank Arena and stuff like that. But I do like that they're doing this for multiple reasons. You get like a little series, like a playoff series, where you get 2 times with one team. You don't have to travel as much. All of a sudden you've got a day off, and that's actually really good for rest because you're not even having a travel day. You just have a completely day off on Sunday. It's a really good day for practice and really good day for like just resting and rehabilitating. That's good. And I also like the carbon footprint kind of aspect of it. That if there's just less people flying around or traveling because they just stay and they do both the games in Miami right away at the beginning of the season, That's actually good for green reasons also. So I like the series. I like the little back-to-back games against the same team. I think that they're good in a lot of ways, but there is some pitfalls that can happen because of them also. And I kind of outlined them there in second. But I'm excited about them. I think that they're cool, and we have quite a few of them, and they're kind of spread out over the season, over the whole season, and stuff like that. David's saying we have the fewest back to backs in the league this year. That's awesome. The actual nights after each other. That's really good. I wish they did the back to backs with the games like the Miami games this weekend. Instead of playing on Monday, I wish they were playing Sunday. They go ahead. I know that's kind of crazy because it's Friday, Saturday, Sunday, or maybe they should have shifted the Miami games to Sunday and Monday. Play Brooklyn on Friday night, have the day off on Saturday, and make the back to back Sunday and Monday, so that that you just play those two games in a row in Miami and then you're out. But a lot of these back-to-back games have a day in between, a day of rest. So I don't know. Nick Nurse is probably going to be creative with how he utilizes those non-travel, non-game days where they're just sitting in a visitor, another city like Miami this weekend, and how he utilizes them to help the team be more prepared for the second game of the back-to-back in between, stuff like that. It'll be very interesting. David's saying Jaden Ivey is an absolute stud. Pistons are going to be good. Yeah, I'm a believer in them. They're doing everything right, and they have a certain level of talent that's bubbling up that I believe in them more than any of these other young core kind of teams like Orlando or Oklahoma City. The Detroit is partly because of Casey, because he really is that kind of coach that gets a team out of the mud. Your team could be like a 300 winning team, and then all of a sudden he's getting them to 500, and then all of a sudden they're like a 55% winning team, and they're in the playoffs. That is really who he is. He's not a good playoff coach, we know, but he's a great coach at getting a team out of the mud and getting them into the playoffs. Now, they may need another coach down the road to help them get to the next up levels, but he will at least get them in the playoffs regularly going forward from now. I'll bet you this will be the first year they make some noise in the play-in, and then they may be more regular, a playoff team every year after this and stuff like that. Let's see. Duke's saying more crap teams in the West. Yeah, that's why I didn't even want to do that side. I could have done a Western preview, but I'm not totally clear on who's tanking and who isn't. And there is a lot of crap out there. And I'm just like, I mean, I'll generally say what I say. I don't think Golden State's going to be as good. They have chemistry problems. They've lost some important players in free agency this summer from the championship team from last year. I think that the Clippers are going to be way better this year if Kawhi actually is healthy and he's playing a lot, and John Wall's a factor in this. He's going to show up and he's going to do interesting things after taking a year off. I believe in the Memphis Grizzlies. I think that they're going to be a very good team. I do not believe in the Phoenix Suns, obviously, for a couple of different reasons. I don't totally believe in the Minnesota Timberwolves as far as what they're doing with Twin Towers and stuff like that. I think there's going to be some flaws with them. I don't totally believe in Denver. I think Denver is a very good team. They've done very well, but there's something wrong with that team to get to certain levels. Like I said, Jokic and Embiid can only go so far to a degree, being the most important players on their team as centers. And I think that there's a problem with the Nuggets hitting a ceiling year after year in the Western Conference. Dallas is another team just like Denver. They could be one way or the other. I don't know. I don't think they'll be that good. I don't think Portland will be that good. Sacramento could be a lot better this year. They're showing the signs of it. They could be similar to Detroit on the Western Conference. I just say Detroit's about to bubble up and become a more important team, a more serious team. I think Sacramento is that team on the other side and stuff like that. And then, of course, Utah, San Antonio, Houston, Oklahoma City, all these other Western teams are just going to be fucking tanking and trying to lose for sure on purpose and stuff. It's going to be fun. It's going to be fun. I think that the West will be fun. The East will look way stronger this year as a whole because there will be a lot of shitty Western teams trying to tank for Victor and stuff like that. So I think Duke's right. Greg's saying at David Saborin, I watched a boatload of Ivey at Purdue. I love Trevion Williams. We know that about you, Greg, Trevion. And he is gifted with skill, mindset, and frame. His defense is super bad, but Dwayne Casey will fix that. Jaden Ivey. Yeah, I'm excited about him with that team. Oh, yeah, let's bring up the Pelicans. Leslie said Zion. Zion got hurt already, but I really like their core, too. They're another team that I actually really believe in. There's a picture or there's a clip right now of Kobe Bryant and Brandon Ingram on Twitter where they're showing Kobe moves that are mirrored by Brandon Ingram. That is really is good evidence that shows that Ingram's a huge fan of Kobe Bryant and he's patterned his game and mimicked him a lot. You'd be shocked if you watch this clip just how much his mannerisms and his footwork and the way he does things is very much ripping off Kobe Bryant. This clip is absolutely fantastic. And it speaks a lot to who Brandon Ingram is as a talent. He's a very dangerous player in this league. I love the Pelicans. CJ McCollum showed up there last year. That team is really good with Jonas and like some of the youngsters on that team. They've got that young rookie from last year. What's his name? He has like a really ordinary name. It's like Henry or something like that. I forget what his name is. But yeah, Pelicans are a good team. I actually put them kind of similar to Memphis as far as this team could be very good and make some people shocked at how good they are this season and stuff like that. Let's see. Seymour saying, who's the team captain? Team captain is still Fred. Fred is still our team captain for sure. But we definitely have co-captains, or at least people that are kind of in captain kind of roles. Pascal, OG, Scottie. Yeah, those are probably our leadership guys right there. I mean, OG maybe not so much pronounced, but if we're really getting into leadership, it's Fred, Pascal, Scottie, and then maybe like Thad, Otto, third level kind of leaders. Thad's in there somewhere too, as far as a leader on this team. But Fred is definitely the captain of our team. If there's going to be somebody wearing a C on their shirt, it's Fred VanVleet for sure. Greg saying at Tony, regarding Miami youngsters, Jovic, his defense will come a long way this year. Highsmith looks good to me. I like Orlando Robinson too. See, Greg's deep diving. He's paying attention on a different way. I'm so locked in on the Raptors. I actually ignore other teams on purpose because I want to do what the other people do to us. Oh, you're ignoring us. Well, I'll just talk about us all the time and ignore all of you. That's how I am. But I'm going to go with what Greg, I know I saw the Nikola Jovic. I thought he looked really slight with his frame. Like I worry about him and Chet for the same reason and stuff like that. So if you get some muscle on him, he gets a little bit more beefy, he could be pretty good. But I don't see any big guys on your team right now that I'm worried about. I think we're going to bully you guys pretty bad this year and stuff like that. Jubs is cooking on full heat, bro. Yeah, logical. I like that. Alistair saying, in order for a championship, we need first or second seed. It came down to Boston and Miami. Also, I'll show we are a legit top 2 team in the East. Yeah, it's important. Like at the end of the season last year, the way the seeding went with the top teams, Milwaukee, Boston, and Philadelphia and Miami, it was kind of flipping around a little bit. And it really mattered right up until the last day of the season. They flipped a bit, and it kind of did matter with their seeding for how the playoffs went and stuff like that. So it cannot be understated that every game matters, and that because of the play-in and new rules in the league, you can't tank or do coasting weird things at the end of the season to try and get into where you want to be with your playoff spot. You can a little bit, maybe right at the very end because you want to avoid somebody, but I wouldn't recommend that. Everybody needs to play all out and try and get as high as they can in the standings. But some teams may have been coasting a little bit because they wanted a different matchup in the first round, stuff like that. See, a lot of that's been going out the window because people are like, we can't do this kind of shit because the play-in's here and it's a lot more competitive at the end of the season because some teams are trying to make the play-in. Some teams are trying to make the regular playoffs. Some teams are trying to get the first or second seed. So there's battles right up until the end of the season, and they all matter. They mattered in the end in the playoffs as far as who had home court and stuff. Jubstown saying Dr. Kyle is the GROAT. Yes, we love Kyle Lowry up here. For sure we do. We always love Kyle. And even when there's problems in Miami Heat Nation because of Kyle, we love that too. All right, let's see. Monique saying TSN Raptors season preview tonight, I believe. Okay, cool. TSN will do their season preview. And let's see how different it is from what I said today as far as where they think the teams are going to end up and stuff like that. Greg missed me too. Excited for November 11th. Awesome, Greg. Respect, Greg Hubbard. You're awesome, man. Cool Cat saying Scottie B, see Dr. Kyle Lowry call Toronto home and still be American. So now he has the blueprint. His Google ad says he's home. It's his home now. He means that. I'm serious. I think in some ways, like when Scottie says he had to get out of the mud, he meant like he wanted to leave Palm Beach. that, listen, where he lived in Palm Beach, he did not have everything in this world. He had a very tough childhood, did not have a lot of money, and they were scraping by in different ways. So he comes from the place where he lived, where he grew up, is a mixture of good and bad memories. Well, I'm sure there's only good memories in Toronto so far, and he loves that. So obviously he's fallen in love with the city, and he means it when he says he's home. He could have been a lot of different places at different times this summer. He could have been back in the 561, but he wasn't. He was there very little bit of this season, this off season. He spent some time in Miami at times, sure, but most of the summer he was here in Toronto in the 416. And when people asked him in the stream, "Mr. Scottie, are you in Toronto or are you in Florida?" He said, "I'm home. I'm in Toronto." He said that on the stream. "I'm home. I'm at my home. I'm at my house. This is my house. This is my shelves with my Rookie of the Year trophy. This is my shelves with my ukulele and my scooters over there. And there's my ball from the first game that I played in, and all that stuff is right there behind him. There's this piece of art that somebody painted of him that he has sitting on against the wall. That's his house. That is his home. That place that he lives in downtown Toronto that's his home at this point. He means it." And he's real. He's for real. He really loves Canada. Like he one of the things he told us this summer is that he was a huge fan of Degrassi. He watched all the Degrassi shows a lot when he was a kid. So he kind of understands Toronto from Degrassi. He's a huge Degrassi fan. He seriously is. He really loves Degrassi. All right, let's keep going. I definitely need more Jubs content too. Yeah, we're waiting for it, Greg. I know you've probably been busy with your cooking, your catering, your food stuff, but I know you're getting to have something cooking for the beginning of the season. We're waiting. Patrick Douglas is saying, "Morning, missed yesterday and late this morning. What's the word on Justin making the roster? I think it shows the class in this franchise and respecting the person in this cutthroat business." Patrick, this is a good point. This is something that the Raptors have done in the last couple of years, and it is something I should have paid more attention to, and Logical did, and that's why he was right about the last final cut. The Raptors don't give up on people because of health. Think about how we hung around with Patrick McCaw for so long. He was hurt so much, and we didn't give up on him for so long. We really gave him a lot of chances the whole time he was with our team. And this is kind of what it is with this. Like, we've invested in Justin last season and a lot of the things we did. And even though he missed a lot of what happened this summer, they were like, "Well, we understand you can't be out there, so we can't really hold it against you," even though I was. And it was like that really was more of a factor than I realized, that he's a part of what we've invested in developing. And that was really a part of the decision with keeping Justin over DJ Wilson, is that we've invested and he's a part of our culture. It could be, I mean, I don't know if they did this. Maybe they went and asked the core dudes and say, "Which one of the guys would you cut?" And they wrote down on the piece of paper who they wanted to keep on the team. And I'll bet you a lot of the guys from last year, like Delano and Scottie, would have put Justin's name down. I don't think they did that. But if they had done that, Justin would have been overwhelmingly the popular person that the players would have wanted to keep on the team when making this cut. I'm very, very pretty sure about that. So it's a good thing. I didn't totally agree with it. And I was saying a different thing all summer. But I'm okay with being wrong. And I'm happy for Justin. I want him to succeed so much. I want him to kick so much ass. I want you to do all the things you do so well on a big, higher level for us this season. I believe in you, Justin. I just want to see it, and no distractions, extracurricular bullshit. But you guys have fun, son, people, but don't do it live and don't take away somebody's moment. That's the only thing I have to say about that. Cool Cat saying, "Oh, and Scottie B are friends for many reasons: personal mentoring and becoming a pro, deep learning." Oh, OG. You said OG because it's spell corrected to O. OG and Scottie are friends for many reasons: personal mentoring on being and becoming a pro, deep learning on culture, managing diet, spotlight, learning Toronto in private. I think that it's just that they have very different personalities also, and that they fit really well together. It could be that OG enjoys how Scottie brings him out of his shell and makes him smile and laugh a little bit more. We're seeing OG with more emotion on his face going into this season than any season since he's been on the Raptors. He's been so just OG. And with Scottie around, it's an ingredient, a kind of it's like when you put two atoms together or something, there's sometimes a chemical reaction or something like that. This is very much a similar kind of thing. When you put them together, it may be that Scottie's very intrigued by OG's quirkiness and his eccentricities, and he really values them because he likes that kind of stuff. Lloyd's a similar kind of guy like OG in some ways. The guy he plays 2K23 with, his friend that he plays video games with, he's very eccentric and kind of quirky and a weird dude in some ways in his personality. Lloyd, I love Lloyd. Lloyd and I are friends at this point, but it's true. And so it's kind of like that can kind of point to like this is the kind of friend that Scottie likes to have in his friend group. It's just somebody who's different than him and just different than everybody else. He values that. And OG is definitely all those kind of things. And I know they have so much fun. You see them goofing and the way they talk to each other, you see such a close friendship. It's such a good bromance. We love it. We love it, Raptors. You guys get as close as listen, you guys care about each other and you love each other as teammates so much, you'll do more for each other on the court. That is how chemistry is built and stuff like that. But Cool Cat's right. All the stuff that she's listed here is exactly what he's helping Scottie with as far as diet decisions. This is an area that Scottie could get better at. I'm not going to lie. Seeing the things he was eating on Twitch this summer. The OG can help him with taking better care of his body by diet. Just keep him on the good path as a pro by helping him with guidance. And I've been here for 5-6 years now. I know some stuff and I can help you not make some of the mistakes I may have made because nobody told me and stuff like that. It's such a good friendship. It's really, really good. And I think it's really good for OG in some ways because now he feels like, okay, there's this young guy who's super talented and I can see how amazing he is, but he really respects me and looks up to me in a way. That has got to be a little bit of a confidence builder for OG in itself. And maybe it's that may be part of the reason why he went off in Montreal on Friday night is that he has a certain level of confidence. Like, well, this youngster who's amazing, he may end up being better than me. He really looks up to me and stuff like that. That can't be a bad thing. Can't be a bad thing. Greg saying at Logical, I hope to have one edited and available to watch by 4:20 today. That's not a particular time for a purpose, but talking the evolution of the Raps offense. TSN preview will be all big channel narrative. Yeah, it'll be the same bullshit there. But I'm interested to see where they put us and their predictions for the season. I'm looking forward to that. The Raptors offense is a mysterious thing. The more I can learn about it in any kind of content or any kind of place, the better, Greg. So please illuminate some things about the Raptors offense for me because sometimes it is very confusing and I don't know exactly if there is any rhyme or reason. Sometimes it feels like they're just playing to let them do what they're going to do. They're so talented. They're going to make points somehow, some way anyway. I'm like, coach, call a play, get a pick and roll, give and go. Clink saying at Patrick Douglas, it does show class. Love that word. That world these days I call good swagger, good vibes. The vibes are strong in the Raptors. The vibes are weird in Phoenix. The vibes are weird in Boston. The vibes are fucked up in LA. The vibes are very strange in Brooklyn. The vibes are immaculate in the 416. That's a very, in some ways, when I do the dumpster fire rankings, this is true. Dysfunction and problems in teams, and they're like, no, nothing's wrong. I'm not listening. You can act like nothing's wrong, but things are still fundamentally wrong on your team. You can act all you want. You're just denying reality. And this may be one of the most important factors for NBA teams to be successful in the league at this point is to not have dysfunction, to not have toxicity, to not have problems like Ime Udoka or Robert Sarver or Russell Westbrook or Kevin Durant tweeting his ass off all summer. That's what I'm saying. To be a strong, good playoff, real championship contender, you can't have these kind of shaky vibes. You can't have this kind of toxic culture in Phoenix. You ain't going to fucking win. That's what I'm saying. That's the vibes are immaculate here. You couple that with what we've been talking about in the roster makeup and the way we play, our style of play. Look out. This is why we're set up to win. Our team, our foundation, the team, around it, the franchise elevates our players to excel to higher levels because we are a springboard to launch them towards success. Whereas other teams may have things dragging them down. Oh, I feel so like, why was media day in Phoenix like a funeral? Because it's going to pull down their spirits. How can you get so motivated in the team like Phoenix? What just happened with their owner and the culture there? How do you get people motivated after that? That's what I'm saying. So this may be a more underlying important factor for real championship contenders in the NBA. How are your vibes? Are your vibes good? Are your vibes strong? We've got maybe the strongest vibes in the whole league right now. Seriously, as far as vibes between teammates and just synergy and how much everybody gets along and how happy everybody is. Other teams aren't happy. You think Kevin's completely happy right now? You think Russell Westbrook's happy right now? No, no, they are not, and stuff like that. All right, let's keep going. A good swagger. I like that. That's a good way of putting it. Good swagger, good vibes, immaculate vibes. Yeah. Clink saying McCaw is a great example, Lex. Even Boucher, when he arrived, Downton, same type of pedigree. That's the thing. McCaw, we never gave up on him. We probably should have a long, long time ago, but we didn't. So Champagne is getting that injury leash to allow him to heal and come back and stuff like that. I have no problem with that. They're invested in him. They are smart men. I trust in Masai and Nick Nurse. That is the right decision. Monique saying, would love to see Champagne hit the three more. Yes, and not airball. Please do better than last year. Maybe you'll rub off from Otto and Wancho instead of Speed and the other guys from last year, and your three will look way better just because the other guys on the bench are much more capable with their threes for Justin, because that is a really big part of his game that will help us. He needs to hit those open threes when he gets them if he's going to be on the court. Greg saying, for sure, Mo. It was nice to see him driving with the ball, though. That's the new Nick Nurse thing this year. He wants everybody driving the ball. Well, that makes sense. Go to the basket. The high percentage shot. Get closer. And especially if we have bodies that can bang and get down there and carve out a little space and get close. More and more bully ball from Scottie, Precious, OG. Yes, sir. Thank you. I'll have more. Please send me 2 more. Maybe send me 3. Yeah, keep it coming to this table. We'll have one for her also. Yeah, another one for him. Keep that coming around and keep our glasses filled with this bully ball and each one of them coming down there and stuff like that. Yeah, I'm all about that. Logical saying, in part 2 of my video, I'm going to talk about Champagne deeper. Okay, cool. The 2-way series, second part, coming out this week. Logical Raptors Fanatic channel. Check it. Fred is a Canadian citizen now. It's not official. It's not legally true, but he is an honorary Canadian, and we will all just protect him. If Canada government comes to Fred's house and say, you have to leave, you're not a citizen, we will hide him. We will do some things to save him and keep him here. As Canadian citizens, we will keep Fred here if he wants to be here, even if he's not officially Canadian. You're going to get that citizenship, Fred, and we'll be so happy. Cool Cat saying that pairing of OG and Scottie B is Masai genius. He said publicly OG has to step up. He's not the youngest anymore. Laugh out loud. Well, OG knows this. It really is the injuries. If he had been just healthy a whole season, we would have seen him gone to the next level and established himself. He's just gotten it stopped. Last year, he would have done it. But that hip pointer injury really fucked everything up. He had that one injury in his hip, and it really took him out in the middle of the season when he was really getting going. So, yeah, it's going to be good. And that pairing, I don't think that was intentional. I think that's just a nice byproduct that's come all of a sudden, that their personalities just happen to mesh. I don't think that they knew that OG and Scottie would be BFFs that going in. That's just something that's just happened naturally. That's been really good and stuff like that. So Monique is saying Jared Greenberg, very, very high on us. High praise for us. All right, good. Good. I'm glad to hear some people down south give us some credit and stuff like that. All right, let me wrap it up. Once again, I'll go over my my 15 teams for the Eastern Conference standings. Number 1, Toronto Raptors. How could it be anything else? And I really do believe this. And I will argue this point all season long, that the Raptors can finish first in the Eastern Conference. And people can think I'm crazy and think I'm just a homer, and that's fine. But we'll see who's right at the end of the season, all right? Philadelphia, number 2. Milwaukee, number 3. Boston, number 4. Miami, number 5. Chicago, number 6. Those are our playoff teams. Our play-in teams are number 7, Brooklyn. Number 8, Atlanta. Number 9, Detroit. Number 10, Cleveland. And then our teams out of the playoffs looking in: Orlando, number 11, Washington, number 12, New York, number 13, Indiana, number 14, and Charlotte Hornets last, dead last, number 15. Great media day yesterday by the team. I love all the pictures. They're so fun. Christian Koloko, Juancho Hernan Gomez, Malachi Flynn, Jeff Doughton Jr., Thad Young, everybody having such cool pictures. And I'm sure that they're all over their Instagrams and stuff. They'd probably love those pictures too. That's part of the perks of being a Raptor. You get badass pictures taken of you, and you get all the coolest OVO owl gear to wear in the gym and stuff like that. These guys they have to feel like they have a certain level of like status and feeling of like quality just from being involved in this franchise and the way that we have the top of everything. That these dudes have to feel like they are ultimate professionals in the sport of basketball just because of the way the Raptors are run and stuff like that. Those pictures really, really show how badass our team is. The media day pictures, the quality and the way that they were done, and just everything about it just speaks volumes about what the Raptors are all about, is what I'm saying. All right, let's keep going. Lewinberg has a couple things he wanted to say about the interviews yesterday. He's saying, talking about Pascal Siakam on adjusting to the NBA's new bench decorum rules. I mean, the way we play, I don't know that I'm going to be on the bench that much. So Pascal's not worried about breaking that rule too much because he's going to be on the court. But yeah, he's also saying we're going to have to get used to it. If you want to support your team, you're feeling hyped up. It's hard to just sit there. It's kind of boring. And it helps you warm up too. When I'm on the bench and I'm just sitting there, my legs get cold. So there is going to be a little bit of a conflict between the players wanting to stand and the new rules and stuff. And we really need to be careful and vigilant because we don't want to give extra points for stupid technicals just because of bench shit. They want to do this way. This is the rules and we need to follow them. So don't be jumping on the court. Don't be standing too long. Just do them. You can still celebrate and you can still go woo and stuff like that. That's not what they're outlawing. It's just within reason. You can't be standing over there for the last 15 minutes of game because there's people that paid $2,000. They're standing behind a bunch of 7 feet tall gentlemen in their way, and stuff like that. So that's a lot of it right there and stuff like that. As far as things, they're going to figure it out. And we'll be really disciplined about it, I'm sure. But it was a little out of control last year with people jumping all over the place. Gary Trent, this is more from Lewinberg's Twitter. Gary Trent, who missed Friday's preseason finale with IT band tightness, says he feels better and he'll be good to go for Wednesday's opener versus Cleveland. So expect Pascal and Gary to be there. They will be there playing. Mass Malachi was shooting on the Noah system. It's really cool footage. Like I said, if you can go find this little clip I'm looking at right now on Twitter on Josh Lewinberg's page of Malachi shooting with the Noah system in effect behind him, you can really zoom in and look at the Noah system as he's shooting. And you can see exactly all the different like things that it tracks as far as the flight of the ball, the way it hits the rim, his shot percentage, all this kind of stuff in real time is really cool. I highly recommend it. If you're a real Raptor freak like me and you really want to see what the Raptors are doing with their new Noah system, that footage will tell you a lot right there. Also, real quick from Lewinberg, Raptors didn't do much on-court work today, but Nick Nurse said that Trent and Flynn have been cleared to practice. They'll be available for Wednesday. They also said Monday is going to be a heavy practice day. They're going to be going hard today at the OVO Center in practice and really working hard and stuff like that. So, yeah, I'm looking at the footage next of OG and Precious DJing last night. OG's so funny. He has some pretty cool clothes on, stuff like that. A nice Versace shirt, not a suit. And yeah, that just looked like a fun function that all those guys were at. Koloko, Jeff Doughton you could see him there. So I'm pretty sure the whole team was there. And Scottie was probably there too. There's an article on ESPN right now about the Warriors and the luxury tax and just the amount of money that they're going to be paying because of these new deals they just signed Jordan Poole and Andrew Wiggins to is insane. It's crazy, crazy high. Now, Aaron Rose, I really appreciate you for the last couple of days because you're telling Raptors fans that the Raptors can follow the route of the Warriors as far as with salary and retaining all of their players. Now, how the fuck have the Warriors been able to keep Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, Andre Iguodala, Draymond Green, other periphery players, Kevon Looney, the whole time through this long championship like dynasty run that they've been on for a while now? Well, it's because they've invested in it. They've spent into the cap and paid the luxury tax. Well, we kind of on the down low pay the luxury tax already. It's just we don't pay a certain percentage. And in some ways, listen, we've heard people say, like Masai Ujiri and Larry Tannenbaum, that they aren't afraid to spend money to win championships. So, Raptors fans, please understand we will open the checkbook up and we'll keep as many of the guys as we deem that we need, that we want to keep in this core to continue to go forward. That we got to stop thinking with a scarcity mindset, that abundance is there. Golden State has shown the way. And listen, you think that ownership is too much of misers, like Scrooge McDuck, that they don't want to spend money to make money? That is not true. They will spend the money to make money. That they learned anything about winning the championship in 2019 is that it makes so much more money for them in the long run. So if it's the classic thing, you say you got to spend money to make money. Well, let's spend a little money on our salary cap and paying the luxury tax and keep our core guys together. Why do we have to make decisions between Precious, Gary, OG, and all that? Why don't we just pay them all and pay into the tax? Because Larry Tannenbaum and the owners and the ownership board of MLSE knows that the value of the Raptors goes up with every single championship that they get. That this is exactly the way that Golden State thinks. That their valuation of the Raptors went up, skyrocketed when we won in 2019. We continue to win championships, the valuation just goes up. So why wouldn't Larry Tannenbaum and the owners of the Raptors pay the money, spend the money to make more money eventually? It's a sound decision. It's smart, and they're going to do it. Masai's already gave like clues to that in interviews about what's going to happen when all these guys come up for contracts. Are we going to have enough money for them? And don't get upset if they give Fred a certain amount of money and you're like, oh my gosh, they gave Fred so much money. How are we going to keep Scottie? How are we going to keep Precious? We can keep all those motherfuckers. Trust me. We can do it the same way Golden State did it and hopefully have the same kind of dynastic effect with our team in getting championships. So allow for the ability to have abundance in your life, in your own personal life in different ways, and do it on that level too for the Raptors with their salary cap and retaining all their players. Now, some of them will leave in different ways and stuff like that. That's Bobby and Masai to figure out. But don't be afraid or realize that the Raptors ownership team is invested in investing into making more money. And by investing in more money means spending more to make more eventually. And that's what I'll say about that. And I appreciate Aaron Rose for setting it straight. He said the same damn thing that I just said to a lot of the people on Twitter. Don't be afraid. We can spend and we will do it. The ownership has already nodded that they're willing to do this. They got that taste from 2019. They understand how this will help the bottom line over the long run and stuff like that. So, all right, there we go. There you go, guys. Just a little bit on that real quick. Patrick Douglas is saying, I think this channel is built similarly to the Raps. We might disagree, but we understand the other view and value differences. If Justin's focus is on his unique rebounding, that's success. Yeah, I want to be like them. I want to be like the DNA of the Raptors organization. I want to be like the excellence and the quality of the OVO Center. I want to be the professionalism and the just badassery of Masai Ujiri. Yeah, we both cuss. We both say fuck Brooklyn. And we're a little rough around the edges, a little bit more every man, everything like that. Sure, I want to echo and look like the Raptors franchise, because that is really who I feel like, this channel is here to support. And it should look like and feel like the way they think and feel about their own team. That, other channels like Raptors Digest, Luca Rosano, everybody else, even Chev's more like me in this way, though. You have to believe and be positive about the team. Why would you spend so much time rooting for the team, watching the team on TV play, caring about them, learning about them, watching me, if you wanted to be pessimistic about what they're doing? That's what being a fan is. You believe in your team, whether it's realistic or not. And I actually think that the lining up of realistic and me pie in the sky Raptor fan is very close to being the same. That reality is very close to my crazy optimism. That it is true that this channel is trying to echo and mirror the way the team thinks about itself. Messiah wants to win. This is a winning culture. They built it this way. The other people don't, they discount that. They don't look at those intangibles that we're looking at here, which add up and stack towards that springboard that launches the players towards winning. Whereas other teams are getting pulled down, held back because of things like M.A. Adoka, Russell Westbrook, stuff like that. So, all right, let's keep going. Nameless say, missed the chat today. Have to rewatch later at 2 times and watch you talk like the chipmunks. I can't understand me at 2 times. I can do 1.5 speed, and 1.25 is actually pretty cool speed to watch me at too. So yeah, there's some good stuff to catch up on from earlier, Nameless, for sure. And Greg's laughing. I like that. Yeah, Alvin, Simon, Theodore, do. Monique saying these live streams are awesome when they're longer. Awesome, Monique. I'm glad you enjoy that. I don't mind giving some time to it if I don't have something that I have to do. And today I've got a pretty open day in certain ways, so I can go a little longer today. All right, but we will finish up before 3 hours for sure. Greg's saying that's cool. Gonna check that out. So cool to see the franchise combining technology and culture so cleanly. I like that with the clip with Malachi that I was just talking about, that I'm telling you guys to go look at on Lewinberg's Twitter. I like that they only have this corner of the Noah on. They turned off the whole rest of it. So, because that whole thing's so long across the whole wall, if there's all bombardment of CP24 information kind of stuff coming at you, it can be a little overwhelming. But it's cool that they can cut off sections of it and just use one little section for him to have that little like workspace for working on his shot. And he can just really look at it. Like, Greg, you're going to be so impressed with this system when you actually look at the footage I was talking about. You're going to be like, wow, that is really cool how it tracks the ball, the way it comes to the rim. And like, it literally has that little 3 green dot path that changes with each shot that he takes and tells him exactly how he shot it each time. It's amazing. It's honestly, I mean, I can't see how this can't help in all kinds of ways. And this may be one of our biggest Achilles heels is our shooting. Well, the Noah system may be a really good help with improving our shooting as a team and making us better offensively. I can see this effect by it, that we may have a much more efficient offense this year, partly just because of the Noah system getting installed in the last month and stuff like that. It's crazy. Logical saying, not gonna lie, Will Lou mentioned how we had the Noah system in the chip last year and Golden State got it last year when Jama came. They may have used it from time to time. Like maybe they didn't have it set up in the building. They may have used it like maybe they had a little setup like it was temporary or something like that. Yeah. And Golden State had it and they won the championship last year. That's a good sign. That's a good sign. Cool Cat saying MLSE has deep pockets and many teams in Canada and Europe, money is not an option. That's what they've said. Like, listen, it's one thing to invest in a team if they're kind of like, Brooklyn. They're like Brooklyn. Yeah, I'd be a little half-assed about, okay, yeah, maybe we shouldn't pay Kyrie this amount of money, but things feel good. We're built right. Why wouldn't you invest and try and push it as far as you could with what you have when you have a feeling that it's a really good bet, that it's not dysfunctional, that this isn't a character thing where it's like, it's Kyrie. We can't invest in him this much. This is OG Anunoby. We can invest in him. This is Precious. We can invest in. This is Scottie Barnes. We can invest in him because these are more sure bets that we won't look bad getting a big, huge contract from somebody who's not going to help us and stuff like that. So it's awesome. It's awesome. A way to go, Aaron Rose. I know I have to give him props. There's times where Aaron Rose pisses me the hell off because he does dumb little polls and dumb little things. And some of his stuff can be that little thread that I talk about that can unravel things or cause problems. In fact, they asked Gary some questions in the media scrum yesterday that pissed me off. They were asking him about OG and about how he's improved and stuff like that. I was like, first of all, Gary's not the right person to ask this question because he was kind of put on the spot and he said it the right way and he supported OG and stuff like that. Why don't you talk to Gary about himself and stuff like that? I don't like it when reporters do that sometimes. They'll ask about other players and partly it's because they want to see if there's some sort of and stuff like that. And so I didn't appreciate some of the questions towards Gary yesterday. Okay, here's my Italian lesson for today from Nameless. Loro non pensado a soldi cool cat. Yeah, I don't know what I said to you, cool cat. I hope it was not vulgar. I'm pretty sure it wasn't. Oh, here's another one. David's got another one for me. Abbiamo abbastanza soldi. Sono d'accordo senza nome. I think that's pretty good. I think I did a pretty good job, Nameless. You know that at karaoke night, I used to sing Pavarotti. Yeah, I did Ave Maria. Like, and I'd sing it in Italian. I don't know the words, but I sing it phonetically from the way it was going. Oh man, my mom was there one night when I sang Ave Maria, and she started crying because I did it really hard. Ave Maria. See, I'll do some opera at karaoke, and everybody would be like, "What the fuck is this weird rapper dude up there doing karaoke opera?" All of a sudden, like everybody's singing like "You're the one that I want." Woo-hoo. They're singing like Queen and shit, and then I get up there and I do Ave Maria, and they're like, "What the fuck was that?" And my mom's over there with the tissue, like, oh my god, it's so beautiful. It was awesome. Yeah, I can sing some Italian. It's crazy. Oh my gosh. All right. See, to parle Italiano. I do. I guess I do by default here. Oh my gosh. Here we go. This is you can get even more Italian lesson here. Quando ho accesso Google Translate. That's all I have to say right there. Lo uso spesso per il mio lavoro online. Molo internazionale la tradizioni può essere complicata però. I know I probably butchered this. So anybody who's Italian that watches this channel like Nameless, I apologize if I'm horrible with this. But if I did do well, and it's like, then I thank you. I don't know. G's saying, "Wow, I just came back and it's still going." Love it. Yes, G, you just came back and it's still going. Nameless is saying, "Laugh out loud. I understand you perfectly. The translator works. Awesome. Okay, cool." Cream saying, "Damn, you're still going at this point. Let's go for 24 hours straight." I know. We fell into different conversations that I thought were really important to talk about today. And there is a little bit of repetition, but for the most part, everything's pretty much the way. Lots of good, interesting conversations today. All right, a little bit more Italian, then I'm gonna log off. Sono migliorato usandolo oita anche a farlo il contrario. You could have me saying the most awful things in the world, David, and I have no idea what I'm saying right now. Like, I don't know what you just translated. It's crazy. Logical saying, "I try to take a big step back today. Let everyone else go." Thank you, Logical. Listen, this is a very egalitarian channel, and I appreciate that you're respecting that kind of stuff. And it was a lot better today. And you were contributing and jumping in and doing good stuff too, all through it too, and stuff like that. I really, really do appreciate it. It's not so easy all the time. David knows because he wanted to talk all the time too. That's pretty good Italian, Nameless. All right, good, good. I'm getting better. I'm getting better. This is like we're doing a lot here, man. We got a fantasy league. We're a Raptor fanatics, and I'm learning Italian at the same time. We're very much multitasking here. Yeah. Okay. I'm not gonna lie, your Italian is not terrible. Awesome. All right, Nameless. This is good. This is good. I like this. T Canese. Oh my gosh. Well, if I do a 24-hour Lexathon, it will be for charity and hopefully maybe for tickets for us to all go to the game too and stuff like that. We were talking about this the other day, and it may happen. It may very well happen sometime soon. All right, guys, Fantasy League is coming up very soon, so get your rosters ready. There's games tomorrow. So if you can go to your fantasy team on Yahoo that we drafted, if you haven't even gone and revisited it since the draft, do it now because you have to set your rosters for tomorrow. So here's your warning from me about setting your Yahoo fantasy team in the Raptors Freak Fantasy Basketball League. David's got his cup already. Yeah, Alexathon. Yeah, Alexathon. Great. Maybe I might need your help. Maybe we got to have like a couple of other content makers working with me on this Lexathon to help us get through it or something. I don't know. It'd be interesting. I might have to do other things that aren't Raptor related on that stream just to make it more interesting. Who knows? Maybe I do music reviews on that one or something like that. I don't know. Something like that. All right, guys. I appreciate everybody being here. Once again, don't be afraid to believe that the Raptors can be the number one seed this year in the Eastern Conference. People will tell you you're crazy and tell you that you're not being realistic. Well, I tell them they're not being realistic because all signs point to yes. Just like that Magic 8-Ball says, you can flip it around and say they ask again later. I don't need to ask it again later. I can see the seedlings and the things that we have been building over the last year or so coming more and more into fruition of success and possibilities of a Larry O'Brien coming this very year. So believe, Raptor fans. The other people will not believe. The U.S. will not believe. Other common NBA fans will not believe. But we can believe, because the more we believe, the more they will achieve. But anyway, I'm just saying, like I said, Raptors, Toronto Raptors, 2023 NBA champions. Speak it into existence. Believe it up here, say it, and it will become more and more a reality and a real path that possibly can happen and stuff like that. The Freakathon, the Lexathon. Ciao, baby. Ciao, Bella. Omari Parsons. Yes. Anytime you need help, you just say the word. All right. Thanks, Greg. I love that. And David's saying, oh, wait, how do they compute the score? Because all the 8.5s and then the 76.5s don't make sense. Oh, well, you're talking about the score on the Malachi clip? Well, just look at it a little more depth. Like, you'll see the shooting percentage at the bottom. It says 68%. And you'll see more. Like, watch it for a little bit and it'll make more sense to you as you look at it and see. If you have a guy when the season starts. Oh, you're talking about you're talking about the fantasy league, not the Malachi and Noah stuff. If you have a guy when the season starts and say you later trade him or waive him, do you lose the points they've got for your team? No. It's when you play them, you get those stats. You can cut a guy, you keep the stats. They're already accumulated for that day and stuff like that. So yeah, that is. I hope that answers your question. And then the other thing about the rankings with the rotisserie, when you say 8.5 and everybody has it all, it's because we're all equal right now and they're ranked. So like the person who leads the league in scoring has the most points for their fantasy team will get a 16 point in that category, because there's 16 teams in our league. And the worst team in scoring will get 1 point in that category. Now, if two people are tied, then it consolidates the numbers to be what you see with the 8.5s to make it all 76.5. So as soon as the games start tomorrow, you're going to see everything jump different. And whoever has people playing tomorrow will look way better than everybody else in the league, because they'll have accumulated stats in those categories already. And you'll see how it works right away, David. Don't worry. You'll get it, and you'll see how you can deal with it. But yeah, you keep those points, even if you trade or cut people and everything like that. When you play that game that night, that goes into your stats for the whole year. And that's it. It doesn't change and stuff like that. Who knows what we would attract with a name like a Freakathon? Yeah. Yeah, Freaknik happens in Atlanta. It's crazy, man. Crazy. They'll be out in the middle of I-75 in lawn chairs in the island of the highway partying. Freaknik. Yeah, you go, Freaknik. Down in Atlanta, Georgia. Yeah, good stuff. They would say all the weirdos would come out of the woodwork. Well, we have subscribers only can chat here. So I haven't seen Chet Holmgren since we did that. I'm like wondering if he's not subscribed. That's why. And stuff like that. I appreciate you too, David. Tomorrow, guys, classic Jurassic trivia, the last one before the season starts. So come in and get some trivia points while you can, because we're not going to be playing for a bit after that. 9:30 a.m. Classic Jurassic trivia on a very classic Raptor. We will be doing questions on them and stuff like that. Let's go, Raptors. Busy on Tuesday. Try and be here, though. All right, Monique. We'll see you when we catch you. Omari's saying, I have no idea how rotisserie works either, but I'm going to still win. Well, you guys will see, and you'll figure it out. It's really like you could be the best team in blocks and get that 16 points for being the top team. And it's really the cumulative score in all the categories to make your full complete score. So say you're number one in blocks, but you're worse in steals. That's 17 points to your score, because you got 1 point for your steals and 16 points for your blocks. And that's the way it works. You guys will see it. Yeah. Greg saying we could all speak Italian if we study hard. Yeah, maybe that's what we'll do. On the download, we're all learning Italian at the same time. Professor Nameless is in class. He's teaching us Italian. All right, guys, thanks once again. I love all y'all. Thank you for watching. Please hit the subscribe button if you enjoy my content, even just a little bit of it, the 3 hours and stuff like that at some point. I appreciate y'all. Like, comment, share, put me on blast or whatever. Thank you, Greg. Thank you, Mike, for putting me on blast on y'all's channels also. Check out the Jubstown Clank on YouTube. Fantastic content as always. And Logical Raptors Fanatic. Absolutely great Raptors-related YouTube channels on YouTube. Yes. All right, y'all. Let's go. Let's believe. Let's get number one in the East. This year, Raptors!